Okay, so we are up to our next session of our Mystara game. We are at session 125, or Phase 3, Season 2, Episode 11. I'm sure 11 sounds so much better for most people for how long the game's been going for.
Instead of 125.
Well, the Tuesday night group has done 352 sessions for this fortnight.
Yep.
As you can sort of see, it has been going for games for quite a while now, as we started back in 2009 for this group.
Yes.
It works.
Okay, so we're up to video 640. So there are many different videos for people to see us behaving badly, and it would help if I actually had all the mics working. So, what did I do wrong with this one? So I'll get Paul to introduce himself while I fix one of the mics.
I am the diplomat, town leader, healer, artillery piece, cook, and maker of campsites.
It's pretty good.
For
It's
the
definitely not Lani being the cook, as we learned last time.
Yes. Lani will never cook again. I'll make sure of it by stepping
That
in.
sounds like a title.
Yes.
Not the cook.
Lani, not the cook.
Lani the uncook.
I can just use faith within to survive for cooking, whatever.
It could
help.
help. You shouldn't need to use an ability to survive someone's cooking. At that point, that's not
the D&D
uncooked.
bastard.
That's an anti-cook. That's sort of, I'll eat dinner and then take the antidote.
Wait, I like that title better. Lani the anti-cook.
Well, some
Anti-cook.
of your halfling followers would regard you as that,
Oh, yeah.
considering you have at least a couple of
Okay,
halfling
so
cooks.
after a few messing around, suddenly
Yes.
my microphone here is now working again. So I was
Oh.
looking at it going, why isn't it working? It's because sometimes we have the silent episode where only Jeremy speaks.
Oh,
So that's why I have to check everything to make sure that we have moving bar lines on the screen.
yes.
Well, as long as that's on Wednesday night session where Dimitri's the one talking, it all makes sense, but only Dimitri talks.
Well, on Wednesday night, we actually have an entire party of online people. So that's not a problem. You just lose me talking and telling you what's going on.
Yes.
Just lose the direction of what's actually happening.
Hey, it is an interesting episode to watch the results, not the action.
Yes.
Okay, so next up we have is Gary. No, not Gary. My name has completely. It is Grant. I wrote Gary down, but it is Grant because I have Gary in a different.
Different game.
I got G right.
I can change, right? I can change my name from what we do, but that would only confuse things. Who is playing Pat the old bastard O'Shaughnessy, an old soldier, who currently suffers a brain injury, missing one leg. But this doesn't seem to slow him down much.
Usually I wrote it right over there, but not down here.
That's funny.
And I got Jeremy's character's name wrong on this one. Okay, so yes, he is doing well, even though he's gone from his nice cyber leg to a.
That wooden pig leg.
Yes.
Someone rewrites time and
finding
things change.
shitworms will be falling.
The next person we have is Kesley.
Hello, hello. I am playing Kupalani Aokai. She goes by Lani. She's Lani the Undying. Lani the, at some point, Empress of the Sea, should we see that. Lani the Great Mother. Lani the Bond Breaker. Lani
The anti-cook.
the anti-cook. Sir Lani of Derrican, commander in the Derrican army. Captain Lani. Lani the weapons master. Many other titles. So we'll see how we go if she can actually earn her Empress of the Sea title.
Then if she really wants it after she gets it.
Exactly.
Yes.
So, because it is, we'll go over that in the recap, that I have to earn my title. So that can mean many things.
And online today we have Jeremy.
Yeah, good evening all. I'm playing Tarakima, the Atruaghin tribesman who has gone through a few issues through his life, but has found and been found by Atruaghin and also the Great One, the Dragon God, and has been blessed by them together to help him bring together the entire Atruaghin tribes and all the, well, I was going to say 5, but all the multiple different clans now. And in fact, that he had to become what most would consider an abomination initially of a half dragon, but he has now managed to bring forward his Atruaghin blood, and he's not stuck in half dragon form, but he's actually taken effectively like a tropic dragon, so it can take multiple different shapes. So it makes it a lot more comfortable to walk around.
Yeah.
I'm sure it does.
Trying to get the shadow close to the time.
A lot less eyes on you, I'm sure.
And just think what would happen if the rest of the world learnt that the Atruaghin tribes were about 2 to 3, maybe 4 times as big as they thought they were.
Well, but the children tried to get a lot bigger when they realised how many Dragon Ball there apparently were.
Yeah. Well, they doubled in size with the Dragon Ball. And you probably realise that with the amount of clans people on the Isle of Dread, it's probably almost as many people down here as there are up in the Atruaghin Plateau. So you might have 3 times the army the other people are expecting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's also when the original size of them, they're in 5 different clans who don't get along.
Yeah.
So you'd never get more than a single tribe attacking outside the country. And when a tribe is made up of 4 to 13 clans, you're not expecting it to be a lot of people coming out of it.
Yeah.
We lost that camera.
You lost that camera?
I'm getting some weird music. Oh, maybe it's background music.
Yeah.
There is a bit of background music with flute in the background.
Yes.
I'll see if I can
Okay,
fix the camera.
but like, it's just, yeah, so I don't get all the music going through, so it's kind of just a random bit here and there. What's that? Oh, okay, yes.
There we go.
Yeah, it's back
But
together.
yes, of course, what the rest of the world needs to be concerned about potentially is the fact that the Atruaghin tribes only pick a clan chiefs and chiefs when they are planning in or in their preparations for moving out from the plateau.
And they last had a chief of chiefs nearly 4,000 years ago.
Right. Yeah.
It's a big deal.
So,
It is a bit.
And the real reason that Jack Nimmer wants to save the world from the master is so that he can take it, God damn it.
well, technically, once he's achieved the goal of uniting the clans and getting everyone back to some form of normalcy, the chief of chiefs position is no longer needed.
Yeah.
But will always be honoured after that point because there's only ever a clan, a chief of chief at a time when the clans unite.
Yeah.
And if they survive that, then he's done a good job.
If he doesn't survive that, well, they weren't meant to work
Doesn't
together.
matter anymore.
Well, as long as his death draws them together, that's important.
Yes.
That might be the technique he uses.
Though technically your death will be the end of the unity. They will use that as an excuse to disband.
Yeah, you're the only thing holding them together at the moment.
And of course, the other problem for the rest of the world is that, well, while Jack Nimmer was already old by as far as the Atruagins were concerned, he could now live a lot longer, potentially.
Yes, especially since he's actually got good health care.
Well, not only that, he stopped aging.
He's also got a second blood.
Well, he needed that too.
That
But
usually
he'll be
helps.
healthy and old.
But hey, he's considered ancient for the Atruaghin, and he'll continue on in that ancient age for quite a long time.
Yeah.
Until all of the other ones die out and they don't know about him anymore. Or they do, but as a storied hero.
Well, they do say the clan chief of chiefs is a lifetime position.
Yes, and that could be 3 months.
Well, as long as he's alive, it's his position.
Exactly.
So,
And no one else can fill it while he's alive.
yeah.
They can't even contest it
Nope.
because the contest has already happened.
Well, and it was a true himself who chose it.
Yeah.
And for once, they weren't allowed to fight over it.
Yeah.
Yes. Because that would have decimated the entire lot of them.
Yep. Because they would not have allowed Tyke Clan to be
Yeah.
participating.
Yes, literally decimated. Like a tenth of them will have all died. The thing is, it would be all the good ones.
Yeah.
You would have expected 50%, not 10%. That's how brutal it would have been. Okay, so who wants to do the recap of the last session?
So I'll do
You've got a recappy stuff.
And I'm going to even go back further to session 114, which is when we were traveling through the dungeon on the center of the isle, and we found the crown of the Empress with the Waves. It was in 2 halves. That's got a cool sword and a ring out of it. Ring of Telepathy and Sword of Alluring, which was cool. So I got 1 half of the crown, went into a room that had the mark of a scythe on it, went through that room, got the other half of the crown. There was a bunch of dead people in there. And then I also met Death. So, Grim Reaper, Thanatos, whatever you want to call it. And I was like, ooh, hi, I'm Lani the Undying. But obviously you're appearing before me, and I want to show my reverence, and so I'm on a great quest. Is there anything you requested me? And he said, return to the island a year, return to the altar of the corporal, which is presumably where we are now, and your title will then be earned, is what he said. And then as he was going away, he said, it will be good to work with you again, child. Like, oh, that's great. So anyway, last session.
Yeah, that's scary.
We're heading our way through, getting through a bunch of dinosaurs and all that stuff. I changed time so that I was with you guys all along. Ooh, that's crazy. And unfortunately, Father Pat lost his cool cybernetic leg in the process.
We can get another one back. They'll do it for the first time when we get back there.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless, of course, they can't do it anymore.
Oh, no.
A lot of things happen in specific orders, and when you change time, you make things not happen.
Butterfly
They could
effect.
still make a new one. It won't necessarily be a robot foot.
So,
But it can never be requested.
It'll still be nicer. Yeah.
So, this is where Lani earns the title of not a chef, as she tried cooking, and that was not good. So we see overly large humans, Neanderthals moving in groups in the distance. We walk past them. We go up across the rope bridge to the center plateau. We head across, following with the river up. There's lots of dinosaurs and crocodiles, and hippopotamus, and all that stuff. We're avoiding them. We fly over. As we fly over, we get to these really cool stairs that were crudely made with the marks of Lani and Calcrix, because we're cool like that. We didn't know we did this, but we did. So we head up into the tunnel. We see a lake with a temple in the middle of it, surrounded by stalactites and stalagmites. It's really hard to see a way through, and this is where we come across a demon fish who is guarding the way, and he's not very nice. Yeah, he's not very he's not he's not very nice, and likes to end my sentences for me. So it's obviously that Lani is speaking in Abyssal when she is talking to this fish. And we're trying to figure out a way around this, trying to think our way through, and then we're just like, you know what, forget this. So we fight this thing, and it fights back real hard, almost die. And as we defeat the creature, as it dissipates, it says, "Bye, mother." Whether or not I am its mother, whether or not I put it there, or whether or not it's just messing with me, remains to be seen. So now we are standing over the lake, ready to cross to get to the temple in the center.
Well, hey, it was a demon,
Yeah.
and it did really mess with the party.
Yeah, it did.
It did. It did a good job of that.
And demons are meant to be nasty, mess with the party, and leave you guessing what exactly was its motives or what did it mean.
Exactly.
Because it can say the truth and completely mess you up with the truth, or as much as say a lie that sounds like the truth and mess you up with that too.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Basically, it's a demon. Even if what it says is true, you can't believe it.
Exactly.
And you can't dismiss it at the same time because it's
Well,
giving you some information.
You also can't believe
can
your
try.
interpretation of it, but you can't dismiss what it has said.
Yes, what you do is you go, right, let's kill the demon, note down what it said, and then go and check with other sources.
Like the internet. Never believe
Well-
what you first see on the internet.
Well, I can directly contact a representative
The internet?
of my patron.
Oh,
So
demons.
functionally the same thing, considering he's a tech god.
Yeah, there you go.
That would be a fun one. I ask him a question, his Google page comes up.
If
404 page not found.
Instead,
Huh?
instead of SGs, it's Ask Raphael.
Yes, exactly.
Still trying to get my head around some of these things here.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we've agreed that strength is my modifier, I
Mhm.
think. So
For casting
where it
spells.
says, sorry,
For casting spells, yes.
but what about you and your allies within your range will gain a bonus on something that's equal to your charisma modifier? Is that going to be my strength modifier, or is that going to be my charisma modifier?
Well, you chose
Strength.
for strength for your casting, but it doesn't necessarily mean all your abilities switch to strength.
Right, that's what I'm trying to
So
work out.
you can be a wisdom caster, you can be a dexterity caster, but some of your abilities are tied to your force of personality.
Right,
Yeah.
which is not my. Because I just wondering, which intimidation can be a strength force of personality, but this one's not, or
Yeah.
a resistance is probably not.
If it's a class ability, most of them are tied to your connection to your god, and specifically they push some things with charisma.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So that's where there's no best.
Yeah, no, that's
build.
fine. I'm just trying to work out which one I have to use which time. That's fine. No, we can work this through. Okay.
And I do like that not everything is perfect,
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
because that makes an interesting character.
Yeah.
So you're now in next to a lake that seems to be becoming less blackened as time passes.
And you get across said lake
Yes, well now it doesn't have a demon in it.
Yeah.
that we're aware of.
We can presumably fly safer across now that there's
Do you
not
have
a
a boat?
demon in it.
You have a folding boat in your collection of other things.
Jeremy did, except he pulled it off his patch and doesn't have it anymore.
Oh no!
Well, he had a boat, not a full
He does, but it's left on the in the what's it called? The canals of Blanchard.
Why'd you do that?
Because you needed a boat at the time.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh yeah,
Take
the
with
patch boat.
afterwards.
Yeah, it's not a folding boat, it's just a boat.
Yep. I believe Dimitri has a folding boat.
One shot cast.
Was it called a
Yeah.
boat patch?
It was the robe of
It was
useful
like that.
items, and it was a patch that had a boat.
Yeah.
I like
Fortunately, the robe of useful items isn't actually that expensive. You just got to find someone willing to sell one.
It's
Or
like a
make it
coupon
for
book.
Or halflings willing to enchant extra parts on it.
you. Yes, because you can actually enchant new ones back on.
Anything that is expendable can be recharged or reused,
I almost
as long
wanna,
as you get someone willing to do it.
I
Yes.
almost want to buy one from the iStore just to see what happens.
Oh, that's going to be an interesting version.
Remind me next time we're in
Well, they
Derek
always
or
have a
at
history.
the ice-
Yes.
Every item has a history.
Yeah, remind me
Yes.
next time we're near an iStore.
Write it down in your notes.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you wish to traverse this cavern?
Carefully.
Very carefully.
Yes, very good stuff. Well, we've got multiple ways to actually
Are there-
traverse this airborne. The easiest one is I transport people one across
One
one
at
at
a
a time with
time.
my carpet.
Or with an eldritch blast. Force effect.
It has push.
They're
The
over.
thing is, unless it's only 10 feet wide, I'd have to hit them multiple times.
I know.
Thud.
You made it!
Splash!
I'm going to hold down on the extra damage. So I'm only doing 1d10 a time.
You can't actually pull the extra damage.
It's from
I
training.
would suggest
I don't need
that
to use all of it.
Father Ted go across on the on the
Carpet.
magic carpet with Luel, while Draknima and Drazel once again take Lani across in the hammock, like a blanket between the two of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And try not to fly either side around a pillar.
That would be an amusement, certainly.
Drazel's not particularly great at navigating with other people.
No, that's right. You follow what Grazel's doing and just deal with it.
That's why the idea of the hammock is actually spread forward to front to back, not side to side.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to try what happens if we go either side of it.
Well, yes.
That's where you meet on the other side and wonder what happened to Lani.
I will keep a piece of rope handy, because if someone falls down, I just put a rope down. I can tow them.
I think I might avoid doing the hammock thing this time, and we'll do it the smart, slow way, rather since we're only going across a short ways.
Yes.
Rather than across an entire mile-long lake.
The other option, of course, is Lani can use the flute.
Yeah, true.
Can sing, can play her way across.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do have proficiency.
Well, there's the thing.
with
I
it.
could.
Let's hope she plays music better than she could.
You could fly across with the loot, and I could carry somebody else. And I fly back with the loot and carry two more.
He's got wings.
He has
Except he's got wings. He doesn't need it.
yeah. So no, I can
There's only
use
two people that need transport, and one of them can
It's
buy
just-
the flute.
Yes.
Yeah, it was just it's just me, and then you can fly.
Let's see how good you are at doing the float.
I
Do a charisma check.
have heard.
Well,
Actually, no. This one's a con check.
this one only needs a con check if you play it for more than a round.
Yeah, well, that's fair.
And she can cross the distance in a round with the
Yeah.
flute.
In that case,
Yeah.
a charisma check for performance. Or performance check. You've
Well,
got performance. You've got everything
I've
else.
proficiency with
There you go.
flute.
Which means you only fail on a natural one.
Yeah.
Now that I've said it all happen.
Yeah. That's usually how it goes. You know how these.
I've done that so many times, it's not funny.
You know what's really funny? I just got a 2.
Yes.
So
was-
like plus everything everything else on there, of course.
It
But
was almost.
so it makes it a 6, but still.
Almost.
Okay, so you play like you cook.
Real
Real
great.
Slightly better, but not a great deal better.
It's avant-garde.
The other side.
Probably
Get to the other side.
Okay, that's fine for
Find
you.
it, flute bash.
Avant-garde food. Not so much.
So everyone else makes it across with their ears ringing.
As what we think is a bagpipe goes off in the cavern.
Well, think of it like claws going down a chalkboard sort of sound.
Oh.
Doesn't actually get a note.
Oh.
It's the in-between notes. So much so that Draknima didn't even know that sound was possible from the flute.
So that was.
Yeah. Okay. Dracula's like
Hold on,
actually grab the
finger
flute back
holes
again and
down
do a
in
quick
the nose.
fiddle on the flute with
How did she do
a little
half
melody, just to ensure that yes, the flute is actually still in tune and does
She's
still
playing
work.
like this.
So as
Well, you can. I know you can do it on a recorder.
It's a
By
talent.
using your fingernails.
as I get across,
You've got to play it like this.
probably with my own ears ringing, I'm gonna play it off as if that's what I meant to do the entire time, and I'll be like, ugh. You know what? You might need to get that thing tuned.
James Galway shoes.
And I'll hand it back to Draknima with all the confidence in the world, and I'm just gonna walk away.
And then you hear Draknima do a tune, so Draknima gets to make a performance check to see if it actually is in tune.
And I've got where am I? 20, 28. Yeah, 28.
So yes, you hear a soul-wrenching tune come out of the flute, and you have no comprehension that it was exactly the same instrument being used, because there's no way in hell those two sounds came from the same instrument.
One One sounded like a guitar, one sounded like a flute. Yes.
One sounded like your guts being yanked out, and the other one made your soul cry.
So yes. Lani not the cook, or Lani anti-cook, and Lani anti-bard.
Which we really have a long list of things she doesn't do.
I will make a point. This is someone who can use anything for a weapon. She's included food and music.
I'm just good at things that hurt people.
Yes,
I am a weapons
including-
master.
Exactly, it's my point. You're a weapons master. If it exists, you can use it as a weapon.
The ability to weaponize everything you do is an
Yeah.
interesting talent.
Yes, that would make demons back off.
Particularly if they thought you were
I was gonna say I could have just played that flute and that would have made the fish go away.
May have made his head explode.
Yeah.
Alternatively, may have,
But you have had to have got
may
that
one
too.
come and stay with you even longer.
Okay, so yes, you have made it onto the island. You can see that there is one entryway with writing so old that it looks like it's been here for maybe 10, 20,000 years.
Okay. Bit ancient.
And the script is not a current script of any shape, sense or form. It's not something you've ever seen written down anyway. And looking at it, it does reek of a cross between Infernal and Aboleth and a few other mind-bending languages. And Llewell just keeps getting his head wanting to explode every time it sort of translates but doesn't.
Yeah, well, the other thing is, given what it's written in, I don't want to read it.
Well, you can't not.
Oh,
You've got that ability that's always on.
oh, I know.
And so
And
you
just hurts
get,
your head.
Right.
So
I'm reading. My eyes don't want to do this.
it keeps blurring and changing and sort of saying concepts but not saying concepts.
And things that I don't want to think about. In ways that I don't want to think about. Using colours I don't want to think about.
And everything that comes back to you is it's some form of warning. But it doesn't say what.
Okay. Well, everything there, all of it, says badness.
Do not go this way.
Yes. The thing is, it doesn't say what.
It does, but
bad things will happen if you go. It doesn't say what things will happen.
but it's in concepts you've never learned.
Yeah, sorry. No, sorry. It does actually say what the bad thing is. I have no idea.
You've never learned it.
I know what the words are,
But I don't know what they mean
but
together.
I don't want. They don't fit into a thing that I can say.
It's interesting. Yeah, my youngest was doing Arabic, and he could actually. They could actually read Arabic and tell you what the script said, but they couldn't translate it because of the way they teach Arabic. You know?
Oh
Yes.
wow, yeah.
Yeah.
So he can
There's certain
he can
types of
perceive
spirits
the
that
concept
Arabic
behind it,
Yeah.
but he can't perceive the full concept behind it
Right.
because he doesn't have a frame of reference to understand it.
Exactly.
I
Yes.
understand what it means.
And by the looks of the language, is the wording is time dependent,
I will mention that bit.
as it is completely framed in a time concept instead of a sentence structure.
I think I may have to transliterate some of this for you.
Does that imply that the warning relates to bad things will happen if you come at the wrong time?
This is why I want to translate it for Lani, because Lani is likely to understand this where I can't.
Drazzle does pipe up saying it is written in corporu.
Even better.
And the words he's looking for words he can actually say that actually translate,
Yeah.
and it takes him a while to actually just sit there as he's thinking through words that he can actually say that doesn't screw everyone else over,
Yeah.
and then he just stops and shakes his head.
Oh.
Right, so if I do a comprehend languages ritual on you, you can read it. You may then presumably be able to understand it. Now, you may end up saying, I can't tell you what it says, but let's not do this. I'm not allowed to
bad idea.
Or I shouldn't tell you what this says, but let's not do that. Yes, let's spend 10 minutes and I'll do that.
Yeah, I'm actually okay.
Okay, so you get to make a culture roll. Yep.
Yeah,
You get to
everyone will be
add.
spending that time taking a look around the rest of the temple, the rest of the island.
Yes.
Everyone else will go around.
The island has about probably about 20 feet of space between the temple door and the water, and it slopes towards the water, meaning that at some points this temple is actually underwater, and you can see that the water line does go above the temple door.
Mm-hmm.
So it gets submerged on many occasions.
18.
18. So you get to add your culture plus 10.
Oh.
Oh, there's
So,
your time.
28.
There's your time to bend it straight away. Don't come in and play card.
Okay, so looking at it, you can sort of see that it is a warning relating to time.
Okay.
And
Don't spend more than 5 minutes looking at this.
Yes.
and the warning is particularly time dependent, as the warning occurs before and after the event.
Right.
Well, that bit which is in the big by a certain date, did it not?
Yes.
So the warning is before and after the event. I feel like it's safe to say that out loud. At least though I can say this says the warning is for before and after the event.
Yeah.
That is all I think I can say, because I think that's all that Lani can understand.
And there was probably about another 50 to 100 words in that explanation that you couldn't understand.
Yeah.
It just didn't comprehend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same thing of where I just don't understand the concept. Yeah.
That then fits in with the concept of there's a reason you couldn't claim the throne or the crown or the life here, and that we needed to claim, you needed to claim it within a 12-month period.
Yeah, that would be a time dependence,
Yeah.
presumably.
And, like, that makes a lot of sense with, I mean, I guess the direction that the Grim Reaper gave me. So, we can presume
You were
that
speaking terms with the Grim Reaper?
I was.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
It's only mostly concerning.
It greeted her in a manner that for it would be considered friendly.
It didn't call her mum?
No. No, it called me its child.
Oh, God!
And disciple.
Yeah.
I think
It
was the word.
was essentially it's claiming Lani as a disciple.
So we've got a demon claiming you as mother, and the Grim Reaper claiming you as disciple.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the Grim Reaper's purpose, as people have learned, is the end of all things.
Yeah, he is entropy.
He'll be the
Entire-
one who shuts off the universe at the end of the universe.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so he claimed Lani as a
Interesting.
disciple because also, to be fair,
She's going to say the last word, at least for this timeline.
yeah, for this timeline, Lani is the speaker of the last word. And he
Thanks for all the fish.
he was the first god that Lani actually bowed to.
Well, you don't really want to piss off the Reaper.
Yeah, you don't want to piss off the Reaper. So like
There are a couple of
she's-
Reapers in the setting.
she's interacted with other gods, mainly briefly, and she's followed other gods and prayed to other gods and all that stuff. But this is the first god that she bowed to. So.
And unlike the Wednesday group, she didn't make him a enemy off the bat.
Yeah, I don't want
Because she neither cooked for it nor played music for it.
Oh no, that they actually went in a direct confrontation with him on the Wednesday group to the point where they will eventually find out that he won in the end.
that's the thing. Death always wins in the end. And this is something that Lani understands. And so when her time does come, she will greet death with open arms. But not until she's ready. She challenges death in that way. But I feel like he respects that.
But it will be open arms as a family member.
Yes.
Favored servant.
Yes. Potentially one of those things. This is something that I'm sure over the past year Lani has had her own internal musings over of like, what does this mean?
And the amusing thing, as Lani tells this to people, she has to make it so.
Exactly. I didn't say this out loud! She thinks it in her head.
You intimate it for the other players.
Yes, correct.
Because
You write down Lani's thoughts and then hand that as a player to the other players.
So, okay, moving back to things. Because I'm going to ignore whatever you just said. I'm going to pretend it doesn't exist.
Dressel did warn you about saying things out loud.
Yeah. So, we say warning is time dependent, we assume, and then we're like, okay, so.
Yeah, in terms of time dependence, it's something happens at a regular time, as in tide goes up and down.
Yep, it looks like that.
Or does it mean
Time does time.
Or is the time as in,
No time like the present. I think we are at the event time.
do we know roughly if this temple does go underwater, which we suspect it does, do we have any idea of what part of the tidal range we are currently in? Is it flood tide, ebb tide?
You have no frame of reference.
No
Just that the water will reach above the door.
at some point
Mm-hmm.
in the not
Yeah,
too distant future.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we have any idea where the water is actually going? Is it ebbing out?
It is
If we
flowing.
observe the water at the moment, can we see it?
It does flow out.
No, at the moment, can we see it going lower or is it getting higher? If Pat
From
was to observe
from observation, the water looks to be about a foot lower than it was recently. But you do know that something in the water did churn the water up.
Right. Yeah.
So it could simply have splashed all the walls with a wave.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
that-
but it wouldn't still be a foot lower.
We'll take
it
a look
wouldn't
at
look like that though.
Yeah.
That's a water level.
Yeah.
Bad. Right.
I think we're
Well,
okay.
if it splashes that much water out, we really don't want to know about it.
We'll give Father Pat a nature roll as he's the one doing the observing and posing.
Yes.
Yeah.
That will determine if he can actually think, is it recent action or is that actually a lower tide?
Yes, because you were looking at that while I was doing this thing.
Yeah.
We
So
rolled
two
an
of us
11.
You rolled an 11 with your nature.
Still trying to work all these things out. It's +4, I think, for wisdom. Yeah, +4 for wisdom. Nature. No, it was nature intelligence.
Nature can be whichever skill that you can justify in
Yeah.
association with it.
Yeah.
In this case, you're thinking logic, so intelligence is the most fun
Yeah.
Okay.
related to
You're
it.
using
It's
it-
11 with any proficiency bonus, and that's it. 0 bonus.
Yeah, so make a roll.
Oh,
You're
they
trying
rolled.
to
He
make a
did.
roll.
He did make the roll of 11. So, okay, looking at it, yeah, it does look as if the water was a foot higher than it was,
Right, okay.
Mhm.
and that looks fairly recent as it's starting to dry out.
Right, okay.
Yep.
Do I have any idea of the speed at which it might be
Head
dropping?
place to have times.
No, it looks like it's dropped at least a foot in the last half an hour.
Right, okay.
Okay.
Okay, guys, we've got more time than we thought, but not as much time as we'd like. That's the short answer.
Of course, your character doesn't have a great understanding of how nature works at this stage.
No.
So, yep.
Jack Gimber's happy to do a nature survival check.
Okay, so because Dracnomir was also doing looking around, he can make a check now.
You want nature or survival?
You can choose either nature or engineering.
Yeah, we'll go nature. He hasn't got. He's not an expert at engineering. Only proficient. The 13, 22.
Okay, so you can actually tell that the water level hasn't changed recently. That really is just the fact that a body of the water disappeared due to the displacement of the creature, and it splashing and causing water to rise up around the outside of it.
Right. So it's just a lot
But
of.
there was evidence that that there was evidence of final markings on the temple.
You believe that the water was above the temple level up until recently.
Well, yes, okay. So the thing had been underwater, which is why part of it is that if we had been here 12 months ago, it would have been underwater, and if we come back within the outside period of time, it'll probably be underwater again.
Well, you can tell
Or destroyed.
the shelf that was here was only put in less than 6 months ago, and since that time is how long the water has been lower than the height of the temple.
Right.
Okay.
Stewie.
So whoever carved those stairs opened the cabin up.
Yeah. Well done, Calcreeks and
Lani.
Lani.
We're real good at it.
Yes. At breaking things open and things.
Something you prepared earlier.
So,
And left the Guardian.
alrighty, with that, Lani will take lead and walk on in.
Okay. As you walk in, you can definitely feel a foul breeze make all your clothing billow behind you.
And your hair too.
My cloak and hair do extra billowy. Things like that are supposed to be impressive.
As the inside of the temple seems to be made up of the skulls of Corpru as the tiles.
And what are Corfus?
They are an aquatic species that is nightmare fuel,
Right.
Yes.
literally, because they came from the nightmares of one of the PCs. Well, they learned how to be their species by her memories.
Yes.
Her being Lani?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some of them for you.
Alright, okay.
So they were one of the first civilizations.
But this is all PL post Lani.
Yes.
We have BCE, we've now got BL and PL.
Well, they existed long before Lani was born,
Yep.
and the entire civilization rose and fell in that time. Now they are just memories to most people,
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
and tales of warning.
And really solid memories for us.
Yes, you got to meet them and see them evolve from curious creatures to creatures of destruction.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because it was my own memory that then made that happen. Yeah. It's a whole.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing.
Yes, when you tinker in time, interesting things happen.
Yes.
Okay, so yes, you can actually see in here quite clearly that there is a throne made out of bone that's still damp.
Right.
Older skulls here have a feeling of water around it, and you have an understanding that if someone who's not supposed to be here crosses the threshold, they will not make it out again.
Right.
Yeah.
So
We haven't
I
crossed the
guess-
threshold yet, or we have crossed the threshold?
Only Lani has at this stage.
yeah.
This is what
Yeah.
Lani gets from stepping in first.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
So I will. With that, I know this feeling. It feels much like the room that I got the second half of the crown. I can call back to them to wait. I'll grab the crown out of my bag, which I have not put on this entire time, even though it says it wants to. And with that, I will carefully walk to the throne, and as I get closer, I will examine it to see if I get any feelings first. To see, I want to take it carefully and slow.
Yes.
Was there a door to the temple, or was it an open doorway?
It was an open doorway.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Director will be standing
we're all clustered around the outside
back a bit
looking
from the
in.
doorway with arrow knocked. So,
I've just got the sword out waiting.
Yep. Drazel's sitting down, drawing in his book.
As he do.
What is Luel doing?
Watching. Seeing if there's anything interesting to read or symbolism to look at. Because this is Lani's thing at the moment. So I'm ready.
take all that lovely writing to read.
Well, the stuff out the front I'm
Not too.
going to leave to Lani. But if there's any symbolism in here that's worth looking at, I'm going to do that, because at the moment I'm going to wait for Lani to need help. And looking at things at the moment is my way of doing
You
it.
do notice some scratching on one wall that says Lani was here.
Below another line that also says Lani was here, that's really old.
And then another one, Lani will be here.
Yes. Written after the first one.
Yeah, exactly. It's just really much of mine.
And then, hi, Luel. written in one of the languages that I know he can comprehend.
Lani, why'd you write this in giant?
Because it's one of the languages I learned.
That's entirely fair. Just wondering why
This
that
is
particular
Lani's
one.
new goal in life. Just to have a bunch of random graffiti
Everywhere.
languages, very specific languages that she knows really only Luel will really catch up on, everywhere, throughout time.
Well, that's why if you actually learn Corpuru, you'll find that it will mess with him far more than any other language. Because technically, your frame of reference of time changes the context completely. And it's your frame of reference, the reader, not the writing, that changes. So you
the
can.
only way I can understand it properly is get you to read it for me.
Yeah, no, this is my new goal in life. I'm going to be the Banksy. But only for Luel.
By doing it in multiple languages at once,
Yes.
combinations that I know. Of course,
That only you
I know
would
a lot.
understand.
No, that's the thing. I know a lot of different languages. It's
I'm
just,
gonna put it in weird.
it's just, if you do it in like 5 or 6,
Yeah.
most people won't pick at least a couple of the words.
Yeah.
You know I'll get them.
Yeah.
Well, that's why it's one word in giant and another word in a different language and another word in
No, sort of,
We'll put one in
but you
astral,
get somebody else looking at it and go, there's this thing here that's got a word in Thyacian and another one in Glantrian, whatever it is, I can't remember this week, whatever, and another word in that looks like halfling or gnome. I don't. It's really small.
That's written down low.
Laura looks at it and goes, yeah, I know all that. The other thing is, basically, if it's words, I can read it anyway. Whether it's a language I actually speak or not. Doesn't really matter.
Yeah, so as you're looking in, you just see Lani start to shimmer and fade. As the whole place is just bending the light.
Hang on, so she's just disappeared.
The doorway looking in, light is just bending.
It just bends around so you can't.
So as you see Lani get in, she basically starts to fade as she steps in.
Wait, back here! Pat yells out, no further!
Do I hear stuff?
Yes, you still hear him.
Yeah, I was like, nah, it's like.
I got this.
I got this. It's all good. Just don't
Don't say I didn't warn you!
go forward.
Can't save
Sorry,
it for
I'm just.
yourself.
So as I get closer to the throne, I'm not sensing anything further from what. Yes, correct. Yes.
Well, you are getting a rusted sort of smell coming from the room. I can't see any metal anywhere.
It's not all underwater. It's probably all gross and stuff. Okay. Well, not really sensing anything else, and Lani not being the most sensitive person all the time. We're going to go ahead, take the throne, and put on the crown.
Okay, so as you do that, you hear a sort of clicking sound around you.
Okay.
And the other sort of fill time sort of stop.
Right, that's not clicking, that's ticking.
And they...
We are able to move, or we
No,
can't?
you've got this whole perception thing of everything around you has frozen except your eyes. You're not breathing, you're not doing anything more than just moving your eyes and remembering stuff happening.
Okay.
And you do notice that Dressel's still writing away.
Well, I can't move my sword, my shield. I'm frozen solid.
You're frozen solid.
Now,
And at this point, Lani starts seeing visions of what's Lani's actually doing the moment she sits down and puts the crown on. She's traveling through various timelines, collecting versions of herself and depositing them on the Isle of Dread in the village of Lani.
So
You're literally stealing yourself from time.
I am taking myself from other timelines.
All the timelines where you failed to do the task.
Oh, that fun thing where Draddle resets us. I'm now resetting myself.
Removing yourself from every other timeline.
You're just tidying yourself from that bastard elf that goes back collecting people and helps them around.
Hey, I was only collecting elves.
I am my
Although,
I'm my own shadow elf.
what is one of your titles?
It is of Clan.
Champion of Clan Claw.
I am champion of Clan Claw.
You're
Yes.
part of an elven clan.
Yes.
Potentially, I could steal you out of time by accident.
well, I'm going to try and use my fate.
But she was never destined to save the Tree of
That's
Life.
true.
Yes.
You weren't destined, so you're
No.
not part of it.
And not every version of her is a member of Clan
There's
Claw.
also that too.
Yes.
But this one is.
This one
If
is,
she's
yes.
cleaning up the other ones, it'll be the only one.
Well, having no idea what's going on, Pat's
Yeah.
going to try and use faith within to see if he can avoid the saving throw. He doesn't have, not. I realise he hasn't had to make one, but as far as he's concerned, he
Yes,
is.
there might be one there.
Well,
He's
you-
either charmed, frightened, poisoned, or.
Well, you realise that whatever you do won't take effect because you know time has stopped because your heart's not beating. You're literally
So
not
I'm
having-
aware time has stopped.
You're aware time has stopped. You have no idea why you can perceive time has stopped.
I just know. So it's no time has stopped. Okay.
Which is why you're not breathing or heart beating or blood
Which actually gets
pumping.
interesting. What that means is time has stopped, but duration hasn't.
Yes.
That is interesting.
Which is something that Lani does to things.
And
possibly Draft.
Yeah.
you can actually see the water has actually stopped mid wave.
Right. So not anything has stopped.
No.
And you can see motes of air and dust that have just stationary.
And droplets of splashed water and all sorts of
Mhm.
things. Okay. So I'm able to work out the time has stopped. Okay. With my stunning intelligence of 10.
Hey,
Who said I'm stupid?
green slide. No. A mimic. There's some intelligence as a mimic.
And Lani understands that each version she steals out of time, their life becomes your life.
So I'm taking their lifespan?
You're basically stealing their life potential.
Ah,
You're
that's
destroying
how.
other versions of yourself to make more
Lani
of
the
yourself.
vampire.
Well,
Yes,
be-
Lani the time vampire.
Vampire.
There's
Not
another
a
one.
title.
yeah.
So this is just TV
Oh,
after
dear.
a name.
And that means that all those people you met that sort of looked like you in the village literally were you at different points in time.
And if you
Yes.
start slurping them out, they're going to start disappearing.
And each time you die from now on, one of them will cease to exist completely.
Yeah.
And everything they did in life will disappear
Oh.
and be erased from the timeline.
Yeah.
In
What's
the-
it?
in
Including,
there.
including any children. That's going to get really messy.
Correct. Okay. I have to write all this down. So
And
that's
maybe the demon is right. She is the demon's mother.
So we find some single adult, never married, who is feeling absolutely bereft and has no idea why.
yeah.
And the thing is, a lot of stuff that happened will still happen, just that no one will have any association that Lani was involved in it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So she could do all sorts of shenanigans. That's all right. We know Drazel has.
And technically, you have you are the Lani in all those alternate timelines.
Yeah.
So you've removed every other Lani,
I'm the one to.
and you're the only Lani in the timelines.
Yes, I am making myself the central Lani by
No, not the central Lani,
The
the
only-
only Lani.
the only Lani by.
No matter which
The only
timeline you look
one.
at, you'll be the only Lani.
Ah.
Yeah, you better take their heads.
Got it. Okay. Alrighty. So I'm doing all that. I have to write all this down.
And technically, you have stolen the potential of every other Lani in existence.
And that is potential.
That's what's Lani the
How
vampire.
Lonnie knows that she
Will live a long time.
will live for a very, very long time. What it
Recognise that time is relative.
well, she wrote a note to herself from thousands of years in the future by putting it in the past. She's essentially become like a time lord kind of thing. So it's very confusing. I don't understand it. I'm working through it. Yeah, she's catching up with herself essentially of what's happening.
And you had a conversation. You remember having a conversation with Drazel about something like this.
Yeah.
You've technically become a Time Reaper, and you've reaped yourself from the timeline.
Yeah. Time Reaper's a cool name too. I'm getting all the cool titles.
Isn't she dangerous to have around?
Yes.
Let the make me find out you're a time wraith.
Is that Time Reaper or Time Breaker?
Both.
Jane.
Okay. Got it. Nope, that's intense. So, okay. I see that this is happening.
All this basically flashes in your head in an instant. You did.
Of course, yeah.
You did the equivalent of 1,000 years of work in the blink of an eye.
Yep.
Right.
That's crazy. So, I've now stolen me and put me on an island for me. And
The sole purpose of existence now is to lead their life into you.
Yep.
And they don't know that.
They don't need to know.
They think you saved them.
Yes.
She has as a resource.
I've saved them for me. Yes. To be fair, Lani never started out as a good character.
Welcome to Self-Law.
Yeah, absolutely. Lani never started as a good character. So it works. It fits. She was always ambitious.
And so, what does Lani think, realizing how many horrors she has inflicted upon herself?
I think I must really hate myself, but I also must love me, but not me. This is confusing. So yeah, no, it's one of those things where I now see the cost of my own ambition. A little bit horrified by it, but also it is, and I can't undo it.
And now you've worked out where you got 3/4 of the titles you never really understood. It's discovered you collected them.
That whole big wall of titles where we only could read like 2 out of like 10,000. This is where all those titles came from.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that makes sense.
And every time you die, you get the entirety of that person's history into your memories.
Oh, yeah.
And they become your memories.
Bit of an overload.
So I am.
Don't die too quickly.
Yeah, otherwise.
Because you've got to spend time to assimilate all those memories.
Yeah.
Or your brain will break.
Yeah.
So don't die twice in a day. It's a bad idea.
I usually avoid dying the one time, so this works.
That would be, yeah.
And technically, you grabbed each of them at the point they died in their timeline.
That they died. Yeah. Got it.
Whether or not it was earlier than intended, that's the point history records you
That
failing
as
various times.
Death, yeah.
And all the other Lannies who attempted to use the throne and didn't get to it at the right time.
Yep. Yep. So,
Only one of you spoke to the 2 Reapers that you know of.
2 Reapers.
it's Thanatos and
Kronos.
Kronos. Yeah, because I spoke to Kronos as well.
You have the blessing of both.
That's concerning. Yes. So yeah, Kronos time and then Thanatos entropy death.
And when you combine time and death, both of them are Reapers and chose Lani.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a great time. Okay.
And then Lani realizes that whatever she says now is the last word of this universe.
Whatever I say now.
I'll give you. What did you say?
I did give her a 2 weeks heads up to think about it.
You did, and I
Right.
completely forgot about that.
Oh.
So I will say
Kittens!
the last
No.
word.
So long it takes for the fish.
That would make a very weird universe.
Well, Doug Harris was a very weird man.
Yes.
What's the other one? Where God disappears up his... I said God, I had thought about that. Disappearing in front of me, the puppet watching.
Yes.
Well, doubt shall count to 3, doubt shall not count to 4, and 5 is way out.
Well, that's the grenade though.
Or you could just say knee. Yeah, I'm full of useful ideas.
Or actually, going off
Well,
of
just
off of that,
ideas, I think.
Yeah, useful is a value statement.
I could just say the word "nigh" because the end is nigh. Come on!
You're going to finish the universe with a pun.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Why would I not? I have every opportunity to do that. The end
Yes.
is nigh. That is the end of the universe.
Then what's the thing? It's either going to be something profound that somebody else wrote,
Or it's a pun,
or it's a pun.
and it's Lani, so it's a pun.
Yes. And people are going to listen to that and go, there's something really profound there, we must find it. The Church of Nye.
And you know that word has now been inscribed throughout history.
This is
The
exactly
end
what
is
I want.
nigh.
This is exactly what I want. Oh my gosh, this is amazing.
And that's what a lot of the civilizations say is the last thing.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The end is nigh.
No.
Oh, this is so good.
So now you have another title, Creator of the Last Word.
Oh yes, actually I had the title a while because I was also the speaker of the first word.
Yes.
Which
she was
was-
told she would say the last one.
When was that? That was a while ago.
And this was her first life.
Mhm.
3 lives from now, she's going to regret that.
And yes, and now you know that if people say that 5 times, they literally summon you to end their civilization.
Oh, well.
Because they came up with that as a story.
Let's hope
Then, of course, we turn up somewhere and things usually happen.
But it is part of a ritual to summon the destruction of a civilization.
Yeah.
Because when you combine time and entropy, it's generally the end of a civilization.
Yes.
The end is Norway.
When you combine entropy and thought, you get the end of a concept.
Yeah.
So if we were to look up what the first speaker of the first word, whatever I said, pretty sure it was hello.
I believe it was.
Yeah.
That would be session.
So don't say hello, the end is nigh. Because that just Constantine is everything.
Makes it real fast. So,
Well, it does make hello have a more interesting meaning as the first word.
Yes.
It is literally the first word people say to themselves, which I find quite amusing to link the two together.
yes. So, if for players' reference, if we ever want to check what that is, that'd be session 104. If we want to check what the actual, or 103 or 104, the actual first word. Pretty sure it's hello. So, hello. The end is nigh. Easy enough. That is time. That is
You have encompassed
everything.
without the details.
And you did that because you accepted the crown.
That is true.
So now part of your role is to remove those that need to be removed from the seas.
Yep.
The Empress of the Waves is literally the one who travels through civilizations, pruning those that shouldn't exist.
Hang on, Empress of the Waves, Empress of the Seas. Empress of the Waves.
It was literally the Empress of the Waves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She kept interpreting it as the seas.
The first part of that was mostly pruning herself.
Yeah. So.
Yes, but there are other ways to interpret waves. Especially in a land of magic.
And you know you will be doing it through time as well.
Yeah, that's going to get fun. Right, so solving the master problem by removing his culture before he was born.
She can't choose what she does.
I know. Things have to happen, and you've got to be doing
Yeah,
it.
that's the problem with time. Is things have to happen. Otherwise, time munchies get you. That's what they're called.
Yeah.
I said it. It's
Right.
real now.
Yes.
I never said I wouldn't abuse my power.
Well, hey, the whole thing is you have to make it happen. Doesn't mean it does happen. You have to make it happen.
Yeah.
Easy enough. I start calling them that. That's what they're called now.
Yeah, that's just a name change.
Whether or not
Potentially.
anybody else calls them that, it doesn't matter. That's what I call them.
As long as there's not somebody else doing the same thing you are.
Making paradoxes. Well, there actually is.
Well, not the same speed you're making them.
Well,
No.
technically, you do realize that Drazzle is one of the biggest abusers of the timeline.
Yeah, no. Drazzle's the
Yeah.
one that
Oh, yeah.
makes the most things.
Well, considering it on at least one occasion he's gone, yeah, we had to redo that like 5 times.
Yeah, he's done that a lot.
Yeah.
Hey, he sent the Wednesday night group on a 9-step time loop where we had to do a different thing every time.
Fun.
And they knew walking in, once they started, that they had to do it 9 times.
Oh.
And not encounter each other again in any of those alternate times.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were literally there 10 times in a row.
Yeah, complicated. And difficult.
Okay. Well within Demiki's power of intellect to understand.
And absolutely ideal for something resembling a bedroom fuzz.
Well, if they encountered themselves, that would create a paradox and then
Yes.
erase themselves.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. In a bedroom farce, if anyone encountered anyone else, then everyone is ruined. Very similar.
And during it,
in a
they
bigger
got,
scale.
and during their multi-timeline hop, they were then chased by the creatures that erase anyone who does that.
Ah, the timeline snacks.
These were in the form of spiders.
Right.
Which
These
is
are
why
the
I
all
said
munchies
that,
to do
that,
first.
that makes you find out that Lani's a time wraith.
Yet.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just catching up writing things down.
Okay, and
So Lani already is making Doctor Who look like a piker.
and so far,
Doctor
technically,
Who simply claimed the lives of the generations for all the other Time Lords. He didn't do it himself.
True.
No, he faked things as well.
Yeah. I'm the more intense Doctor Who.
well, you know, you have claimed yourself over 100,000 times.
Yep.
Yeah, wow.
And you've left yourself all together on an island where you can grow a few more of yourselves.
And they don't actually exist on the island at the same time. They exist at the point you took them.
So the population will change over time without actually varying in number necessarily.
Yeah.
But randomly someone will disappear and then someone else will spawn in from somewhere.
Yes.
As you basically existed at various points in the timeline.
Yeah, so one
You-
of them wakes
you
up and
weren't-
goes, whose bed's this?
You didn't have the one birthday.
So it'd be my porridge.
Yeah.
And so yes, you have a very interesting family tree of yourself.
Yeah.
And technically, none of the versions of you had offspring.
Technically. Because they're all you.
Yes. So they're not children of Lani, they are Lani.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, if you didn't have offspring, you had clones.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I was just thinking.
Basically.
Lani 1.1, Lani 1.2, Lani 1.3.
No,
Lani...
it's all Lani 1.0. Every single one of them.
Yeah, okay.
It's just multiple copies.
And some of them are male, some of them are female, some of them are different races.
Yeah, some of them are entire different species. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole thing.
They're all Lani 1.0.
Yes.
I thought it probably better to say that they were alpha Lanis.
Yeah.
Didn't quite reach the beta testing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Lanis that were never meant to be.
Well, there's another title for you. Master of the Lanis that were never meant to be.
Yes.
Or remover of
So-
the Lanis. Questions.
So what do we see of what's going on?
So what happens is you hear a loud cracking noise as time just starts back up again. Rather rudely.
It was all in an instant.
And you basically feel going from not feeling any movement whatsoever to blood rushing through the body, which feels completely alien because you have no idea how long you've been stuck in that one instance. But you notice Drazzle probably did go through about 3 or 4 pages of his book.
So well. Well,
Because we barely ever see him turn a page.
Yeah.
And he was writing furiously the entire time.
Because he can. It can't have been all that long. However, more than a few seconds is very worrying.
Well, it normally takes him about a day to get through a page.
That's pretty worrying. On the other hand, more than 5 minutes. At that point, the duration doesn't really matter very much. Actually, more than 2 minutes.
And you do notice the alien feel of your heart beating again.
Yeah, only because I've spent a while used to not hearing it.
Yeah.
Plus, it's working real hard right now.
It fades really quickly, but everyone's adrenaline was super spiked by the fact that they wanted to do stuff and couldn't. So everything you felt like doing, now suddenly your body tries to do every action. Because you sent all those signals through the body.
So all of us stack around in a circle for about a minute and a half,
Yeah.
panting and waving our arms wildly.
Trying to work out how to get Lani out of there.
As you see the temple start to crack as Lani just walks out.
Yeah.
Alright.
I was like, alright, we can, wait, do I still have the crown on?
You've still got the crown on.
Let's do the
Okay.
getting away from the temple thing.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say, as I'm walking out, I'm gonna walk briskly. I'm like,
I'm
okay.
getting on the rug.
I'll walk briskly. And we're like, alright, let's go.
Zoom! As you're
We're out of there. You
Yeah.
might want to around the ground. In or out of there.
Yes, the temple is cracking. We're not going to wait for you to say stuff. If you need us to be back here, we'll come back.
Mate,
Yeah.
We're going to be away.
we're gone. We're out of there.
Yes. It's standard thing, the way I take running. You don't run to somewhere. You run away from. You work out to after you've got away.
Yes. And even though Pat is bright, he ain't stupid.
Yes.
He's not real smart, he ain't stupid.
Well, that's the thing. What's your wisdom?
Wisdom is...
Because it's wisdom is what you're working at here.
Wisdom is +4.
So you were extremely wise, so
Yeah.
you can intuit things quite nicely. You just can't reason it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah, or at least not any more than your average Joe on the street. Yeah, I did that with I think I mentioned this. I did that with a cleric where he didn't know much, but he knew what was right. That's how he put it.
Yeah.
And so as you guys
into 8.
maneuver your way
14.
out, you see feel the stalactites and mites cracking around you.
Okay, right out is what we need to be. Keep moving in the air. Get outside the cave.
Yeah, if we work out whether or not Lani could have done effectively the athletic jump from stalactite to stalactite,
Well,
or Drazzle and Dracnima will just
Pick up.
one can grab arms, one can grab feet, and we'll fly her out.
She's got the flute.
I was gonna say, no, I gave it back.
Oh,
We
Right.
could bunny hop across.
I will give Lani an intuition check.
Okay.
Insight.
And Dracnima took the flute back again. I can trust her with it.
Insight. 12.
Okay, looking in front of you, you see it differently than you saw it on the way in.
Yeah.
So,
You can see where things are going to be.
Oh,
You can literally walk your way out.
okay, well, then I'm
Oh.
gonna do that.
Nice.
I'm gonna be like, we're just gonna.
Which means that there are versions of you that didn't walk their way out properly.
Yeah.
That's right. She's probably
I'm on the island.
she's possibly already absorbed them. So
Yeah, I was gonna say.
you saved them
Yeah, I saved
from
them.
drowning.
Either they're chilling at
By
Camp Lani out in the middle of the island, or I've already absorbed them. So I see where things are gonna be. So I'm just gonna bunny hop on the stalagmites over.
And you have a feeling Drazzle sees things a lot like this.
This is probably how Drazzle sees. Yeah.
He sees how things should happen
Yeah.
and how they mess up all the time.
Yeah. I had a preview of this when we were trying to go through the thing last game year.
Mm-hmm.
So okay.
You realize that it's not how things have to happen, but it's the way things can happen.
Yep.
So literally, you can mess up, and that's okay. It'll only, give you the memories of someone you.
Yeah, exactly.
And messing up may still be the optimal outcome.
Whichever way you go is the way it was meant to be.
Yep.
Because it's the only timeline
It's
now.
not the only way. Yep. Okay. Got it. So we're gonna head on out of here and try not to get crushed by falling rocks.
Okay, so Dracnimir flies his way out as Drazzle casually walks behind you, having seen this happen before.
and knowing exactly where things are the way she does right now. Yes.
It's why he's less worried about what happens. He's seen the other occurrences, or he's lived through it.
Yes, and he's gone, it worked this time. And you can see why he's weird.
Yes.
No one normal could exist like that.
And apparently he has to remember a path and follow that path.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Yes.
Ronnie's learning a lot of mindfulness from Drazzle in order to focus on successful paths.
Yes.
So you expect that he has had to memorize all the failed paths, not
Yeah.
the
Mm.
actual path.
Yeah. So and then using logic rules of like that didn't work, that didn't work, so it has to go this way.
Where he's actually stepping is everywhere that the other ones didn't.
Yes.
When they failed, he
Yes.
can't step there.
Yes. And because it's worked this time, where he steps is going to be right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, time travel leads to predestination. What fun.
So yes, well, when they mess with time, they have to get some benefits out of it.
Yeah. Yes. Because so much of what they have to do is fixed.
Or they have to go back and fix it themselves.
Yes.
Which means there's a probability that Lani broke the temple.
Given Lani, I'd say it's definite because it makes it cooler.
That is okay. So I'm glad that
So
we're
she's
learning
gonna
the
let
number
him
one
break her
rule of
time.
this universe that Lottie
The real
is now
question
putting
is, how
into
many
place.
times did she break the temple?
She set it up to break this time.
Yeah,
It's
like a Jenga tower.
Mm-hmm.
Just remove this one bit.
Yeah.
And Lani gets the sense that she's always watching herself.
Myself.
Constantly going, don't do that!
Yeah, all the others were watching Lani saying, don't do that, you'll kill me. Or rather, don't do that, you'll kill.
Oh, damn.
I
Really
kill
damn.
myself.
Yeah, she can have a lot of slammy jokes.
Yes.
Yes.
That's-
I'm thinking,
I thought
the
you'd
good
like
thing
that.
she isn't Catholic because she's
Yeah,
running hell
right?
half the time she killed herself.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yes, I thought you'd like that reaction. Oh dear.
So yes, Lani's now seeing the world in possibilities.
Which makes it just weirder.
And you realize at some point you will probably end up claiming the rest of the party.
At some point. Okay.
When they exceed their allotted time. Not if, when.
Well, it depends. If we manage to get immortality,
Even the Immortals end at some point.
yes.
So.
That's why I said allotted time. It doesn't say when the allotted time is
Yeah,
up.
Yeah.
there is that.
That's just the
Which,
easiest
which,
night.
act- which actually leads to an interesting one. Do you take Thanatos' existence, or does he take yours? Or do you-
He would take mine.
And then fade out because you'll be the last thing.
He would be. No, he has to be the last thing.
I know. But he'll be.
I would be the last thing before him.
Yes.
Yes.
So you're the second last thing.
Yes.
Second to last thing.
The penultimate.
There we go. Here's the title. Second to last thing.
The,
Lani the second
no.
last.
Got to make it sound better. The penultimate thing. It's an education in this.
Well,
Nah.
your word was there, whether you're there remains to be seen.
Yes.
Yeah.
True.
Because your word's already there.
But can the word exist without the person?
And you could actually
The
do
person
that.
who already sensed the word.
Yes, and you could do that before actually ending yourself by going up there.
Because you ripped yourself through time, you sent your word to the end of time.
I did.
And it's recorded through history.
Yes.
So you've technically achieved that unlock.
That is now complete.
Lani being there in person doesn't make it valid.
Yes.
Or invalid.
It does make it invalid if she's there in person, because if she says something afterwards, it makes it invalid.
Oh,
So she can't actually be there to witness it.
No.
Right.
Unless she very carefully says nothing whatsoever. On the other hand, it's Lani. She'll say something.
And I think that's where the paradox is.
But she's messed with time nodes before, so technically she said the first word by stepping into a time node,
Mm.
and technically said the last word in a time node.
Yes.
Yes. So they're already set and ready to be used when they happen.
So just don't start the world by saying the end is not.
Yeah.
The end of the old world.
There are more time nodes. You could literally wander in and add another first word.
Just have to
And
find
the,
the
and the first one is still valid at that point.
Or it might end up being the first act of kindness, or the first act of aggression, or the first this or first that. Everything is valid.
Yeah.
And the gods of time like mortals to do it because that just messes with the timeline.
Yes. Yes. Immortals doing it has extra connotations.
Oh, they're not permitted to
Yeah.
do those. They can't make permanent changes.
Because otherwise they'd be all doing it all the freaking time.
They're the maintainers,
Yeah.
not
Mm.
the manipulators.
Yes.
Which means that someone who manipulates time is definitely not a god.
Yes.
Alright. We dismount from our flying
Yeah.
carpet.
Mm-hmm.
As you see the behind you, the pillars are falling in such a way behind Lani and Drazzle that it's blocking the way in.
Mm-hmm.
As you can hear the sounds of the water starting to fill up, because the stream beside you is pretty much dried out.
Right. So Lani very carefully set that so that all the pillars and things would fall the right way,
Yes.
so that no one's getting in there, even though you can't get in the temple anyway.
The stream was a stream of time.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Well, it does make it time dependent.
Yes.
In the fullness of time. Appropriate juncture.
I was trying not to do that.
I wasn't trying.
I've noticed. Sigh.
So now that I got this super cool crown,
Yeah.
it's now part of my outfit.
And now you are literally unkillable.
Until
I am literally
and-
Lani the Undying.
until you run out of yourself.
So yes, I'm pretty
Until I
sure
run
you
out of
could die
myself.
over and over again. You're going to keep dying.
Yeah,
If
the
you
thing
die,
is-
yes.
the thing is,
I will keep
the
dying.
thing
Oh
is,
no,
you would have to. You would
your
have
body
to
doesn't
die.
end, so you
Yeah.
don't actually get the death condition.
Nice.
So no matter what happens, you don't actually, instead of hitting death, you suck a life.
Mm.
So she always kind of immediately being reduced to 0 hit points, she gets 1 hit point back.
No, if she ever hits the dead condition,
Right.
at the dead condition, one of the versions of her dies and she doesn't reach the dead
She
condition.
gets a hit point back.
She can never reach the dead condition.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just going to take so long to get through, 100,000 of them, that more of them will form out of the time stream. You can go and slaughter them up.
She literally has already.
Yeah. Well, yeah. What I'm saying is there's going to be more of them.
Yes.
There's always more. There's
There's
always
always
less.
going to be
There's
more.
always.
You're always going to be able to do this.
Yes. So now I am truly Lani the Undying. Because I erased my life from other timelines.
And every time you hit the dead condition, you get the memories of the Lani you've erased.
Which makes you comatose, is just trying to basically integrate them.
Well, they become actual memories instead of just thoughts.
Yes.
And after she's killed enough of them, she'll have all these actual conversations she's had that don't exist.
Yeah.
And she'll start to be more like Drazzle and try not to say anything.
Yes, because as she's already learned, to say things is dangerous.
Correct.
To explain things is even more dangerous.
Yes.
Okay, so you're looking out onto the island, and you can see that above the island is the shimmering Feywild. You can actually see into the Feywild from here.
Wow. Very green.
Feels very much like an upside down world.
Mm. Yes. I point up. That's why we can't get a lot of altitude.
Yeah.
It's
always been there.
It's never been this clear.
Yeah, oh,
Yeah.
it's never been this clear, but it's there.
It's like the mists around the island have parted. 'Cause you normally had clouds and stuff
Yeah.
obscuring things.
Basically a sign of a really big major thing having happened. Is anything looking at us out of the Feywild?
Yep.
Do you want to look back?
There are 6 creatures of titanic size. They're so big they don't have a scale. They remind you of the sun avatar you fought, except they are bigger.
Right. So I've no idea what they actually are.
You
Or do
know,
I?
you believe they're the primal titans.
They're
So it's out
looking
here.
back. They came back.
The ones that have been loose for the past 6 months or so until time changed and they got back.
And they're in the Feywild, which means they're out of the world, which is where we presently want them.
As far as you knew, they were never in the Feywild. You have no memory of them being in the Feywild.
No.
Just like
And
Where they
if they're in the
now.
Feywild, then probably the Master still can't access their power, which is why
Yes.
we released them.
Yes, which is a good one of the reasons why I said where they are right now is a good thing. May not necessarily be that good for the Feywild, but it's good for the world as a whole because it keeps them away from the Master.
And from what Lowell has learned, that means that each of them has ascended.
Oh. I will tell the others. Them, yes, they're primordials to met, except, they're outside the world, obviously, but they've ascended. They're more than they used to be.
I mean, that's fair. They're awake now, so they learn.
And they have learned over time due to Ka the Preserver,
Mm-hmm.
the T-Rex god. He literally is a T-Rex.
Yeah.
Yes.
Could you imagine being the only intelligent T-Rex?
For a long
Way too long time.
And the only people you can talk to are the primordials and the gods of that era.
Yes.
You'd simply want to talk, wouldn't you?
Yes. Yes. He does have a subtler form. He turns into an Allosaurus.
Oh, right.
Solar.
Well, it's small enough to fit in this room.
Yeah.
Just.
It is handy.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, you have witnessed the literal birth of 6 new gods.
Okay.
And you have a feeling they can't comprehend something as small as you that well.
That's why I feel I can get away with doing that. Perfectly good reaction.
Probably just like, oh my
What?
What am I doing here?
Gods.
gods. Yeah. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
so next time you say oh my god, you might get one of their attentions.
Yeah. Let's be careful.
Yeah.
And do we know what
Course
they're
there's
the
also-
gods, given they're the primordial titans, are they the
They're
gods?
probably the gods of what they are connected to. So
So-
one is the primal tide.
So,
He would be the god of tides.
Oh, it's
You have the Primal Dawn, who literally would probably be
the God of Lords.
the sun rising
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
So you've got the Primal Storm. So every time there's a storm, he's probably in the middle of it. You have Primal Death, meaning that every time there is a major death of some sort, he's probably around.
And then he's not Thanatos.
He's
No.
not Thanatos.
He's an
And
Different god.
there's Primal Hunger, which hard to understand what that would actually be in the world. And the last one being Primal Calamity,
pestilence.
which would most likely be a cataclysmic event of some sort.
I actually think it would be a different event every time it turns up.
It would definitely be, but it'd be something that would be a
Yeah.
major collapse.
Yeah, but a huge cataclysm, and that summons him.
And the question is, does the one of famine come after that? So yeah, we want him.
Do they-
Oh, like, here comes his brother.
No, the thing is, a huge famine can be the catastrophe that makes the other one turn up.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
possible. And considering one of them was already immortal to begin with, he has gone from being unending to literally becoming a god. Because they have a distinction between immortality and godhood.
Yes.
Yes.
You can,
Slight
be one
distinction.
you can be one without the other in both cases.
Yes.
Just a god without being immortal is a bit weird. So they're called the Immortals. Yes.
Which does mean that there are now two gods you know who are never mortal.
Yes.
The dead dragon god Io,
Yeah.
and now Calamity.
And I've heard of at least a couple of others which are from before there was living things, which means they also were never mortal.
Thanatos is one of those, as are the elemental lords. Each one of them exists outside of time.
Yeah. Yeah. The relationship between the elemental lords and the primal titans, that gets a bit interesting. We would have to ask one of the elemental lords about that, and I'm not going to do that right now.
Friday's crew did that.
And they survived it?
They did. Because they were using the goddess of, the Queen of Darkness, Nyx, as a go-between.
They got someone else to do it. Right.
They thankfully have Calcrix, who has an in.
And the help of Carl the Preserver at the same time.
Yes, I can see that would be a very useful thing to help.
Because the idea was they had to convince the Primal Titans not to burn the world to death.
Yeah.
A useful thing.
Yeah.
And because they did that, they were able to change time and bring them back to before they left.
Yes. Right.
I think.
Well, when you have creatures of life, time, thought, matter, and energy all throwing their power at an event,
That event happens.
that event is literally going to be completely something you don't understand.
Yeah.
Because they can create a concept that is real. They can create life where there was none. They can remove life where there was some.
And all of it is going to mess up the plans of someone like Exantiotl, because that pretty well goes against everything he does. Plus, he can't control them.
Yep. And one of his major opponents is Nyx, the Queen of Darkness.
Yes.
So he really didn't get much of a chance to tell one of his higher-ups, no, don't do that.
Until before they went away.
Yeah.
It's like, I needed that. It's like, too bad.
Yeah.
So sad.
Hold on. Needed what?
So yes,
I can see that be. Actually, Nyx is the sort of person who would do that as an answer.
Well, she is one of the few non-evil gods of entropy.
Yes.
Because
very few.
Because most of them in entropy go in there because the easiest entry to entropy is destruction.
Yes. Destroy a culture.
Or a people. Or a concept.
Yeah.
Or it's basically you oppose one of the other spheres in destruction.
Yes. Destroy a colour. Now that would be hard. But it would get you there.
Yes. So yes, you have
no more pink.
You do have a feeling of safety on the island you haven't had before.
Mm-hmm.
But that's gone in a moment. As the fog slowly comes back in.
Well, there was a moment of lucidity.
Yes. A moment when the gods of the island looked upon it.
Yes.
So the fog rolls back in and I was like, oh, wait. Now this feels familiar. Let's carefully move forward.
Well, it was their island
Yes.
to begin with.
Yeah.
And the dangers of the island was their dangers.
Yes.
Yep.
So this is the center of all tides, the center of all storms.
Yep.
The center of all calamities.
Yep.
Everything can be traced back to here because all the titans of the world grew up here.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they've basically gone, yeah, that's very nice. We're back now.
Yeah.
Chomp. Okay.
And
Okay.
bigger and nastier and better than before.
Yes.
And as Lani is also tied to the island.
Yep.
This is what the crown represents.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't tell them what to do, one guesses.
Oh no, it's the other way around.
Okay. So
Right.
Lani picks up another time of Lani, the one who's ordered the belt.
It's feeling very familiar.
Very shared amongst the gods.
Lani, the High Priestess of the Primordials.
That's the title.
Without having any clericals.
Hey, a high priestess just has to look good.
Yes.
As does a high priest.
And in politics.
Mhm.
Oh, you
Hey,
cleric stuff, you got people for that.
in fact, you became priest of the Kurgan without having any cleric levels. You have
That's
to
true.
take them.
That's true. You need to take them afterwards. Yeah.
Well,
So-
good news is I have all the time in the world to figure this out.
And so you now know why it was an eclipsing event instead of a apex event. Because it really was the lowest point in Lani's story.
Mm.
'Cause
Where Lani technically erases herself from time.
it's the biggest horror of my life.
And nothing Lani does from that point onwards can erase that.
Yeah. Yes. It also means you've effectively, from a conceptual point of view, you've conceptually linked yourself to the universe. And have also removed all possible
Alternatives.
actual choices.
Yeah.
As a player, you can make choices, but as a character, no, you can't.
Mm-hmm.
Your character's actions are always destined to be.
Exactly.
Yes, everything is predestined from this point forward.
Yes, you just don't know what they are yet.
Yeah. If I concentrate real hard,
Yes.
to get really good rolls.
Well, now you can do an insight check to see the lay of the land.
Yeah. So,
Yes.
you know
Can I
what? Let's
will
do it
have
for funsies as
Yes.
we get forward.
Yes.
So,
Can I will have
insight
been here
roll.
before?
10. I'm not very good at concentrating right now.
Well, it's been distracting.
I am distracted. Is that what my insight actually is? Oh yeah, it is.
Okay, so you do realize you probably have about 10 minutes until this pathway becomes a landslide.
Okay, let's
Keep
do
going.
more airborne movement.
I can't say things
Flee, you
now.
fools, flee!
What's more, I don't have time to summon my
To be
guns.
fair, if you warned us that a landslide coming in the next little while, then you've got a fair chance of prophecy coming through.
Well, now I can't say my puns as much as I want to. In in
No,
Lonnie's
you
head.
can do this and say this is the player only.
Yeah, I was gonna say, in Lonnie's head, not out loud, she thinks, "Surf's up, cowabunga." And Lani just goes ahead and like starts moving quickly forward and is like,
Right, people with wings, pick her up,
Let's go.
please.
Yes.
yeah.
I haven't got off the carpet yet. Get back on.
I'm not getting off the carpet.
No.
Do the whole hammock thing
Can't you not keep up?
between Drazzle
Carpet's
and
not that fast.
Dracula.
It's like a wet week.
And I'm just looking at
Slower than
Drazzle
that,
and like I'm trying
That's the thing with
to telepathically get my pun to him because he knows in a different timeline I said it out loud, so he'll know what I said.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Aw man, me and Drazzle can talk telepathically now.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you sort of get a glance and and yep, he understands.
Yay, Drazzle will understand all my puns now. Because I can think it, and he'll know in a different timeline I said it out loud, so he'll know what I meant. So Drazzle can...
As long as he concentrates, but that's not hard, he's used to it.
That's why, like,
Yeah.
Lani will give him eye contact and be like, concentrate, and understand what I'm trying to say.
And you get the roll of his eyes.
Yes! This is
Yes.
all I
Well,
want in
considering he's a
life now.
cleric, his wisdom's going to be high, so that's perception insight.
Drazzle and I
So
always started as pretty good friends that understood each other. We just now understand each other on a different level.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this works.
In fact, you're the only two on that level.
Yeah.
It's a bit lonely at times.
Ron understands a lot on that level too. He's been around Drazzle a lot.
Yeah.
I know about it from practice, not from inherently being there the way Lani had.
Because, yeah.
Yeah.
Which does make you wonder, what did Drazzle have to do to get what he does?
Because Lani had to do all of
I
this.
have thought about that, and I don't want to do that anymore.
Because Drazzle's better at this than Lani.
He started out doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, he also gives me the impression of having spent at least 20% longer than the actual years he's been doing this. Plus, of course, he keeps shifting himself through the timeline. We've seen versions of him that are 3 meters tall with wings.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's seen versions of him where his scales are so old they're blackened and cracked.
Yeah.
Right.
Which was probably disturbing in its own right, because how does a blue dragon get their scales black?
By aging a lot. Or following Nyx for a while. One or the other.
So,
Alright, we get out of here.
Yes.
okay, so you find yourself in the valley with the river running south, full of many creatures that see you as a source of protein.
Which is why we're keeping some altitude.
Avoid them.
Stop waving your legs at them.
So how much how high did the destruction carry, like the landslide? Because the temple was on an island inside a cave that was on an island.
Yeah, but the water coming out of there has got to remain.
And as you start to move away from the pathway, you can see that the mountain range that the river is on starts to shake.
Keep going.
Yep.
As basically a landslide does literally occur down the pathway, obliterating the pathway.
Well, it's not needed anymore, is it?
Well, not this time. Not this time frame.
No, you mean the pathway that was built 6 months ago by Kelcrix and Lani?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Which probably why it was built in that odd fashion, because that was literally the path of the landslide.
But that means the destruction should still be relatively localized, so
Yeah.
it shouldn't necessarily interfere with the
It would not be-
terrain of
Yeah.
the dinosaurs that are living on top of this plateau.
That's right. It's just going to be the pathway.
You realize that many earthquakes occur on this island.
Yeah.
because it is a central hub of ley lines.
Yes. But having what that means, something this major had to have been set up, because you're not. If there's earthquakes all the time, most of them are going to be relatively small, or like half a mountain falls off. Yeah. Oh look, the terrain has changed shape.
And then,
Again.
not long after, the river starts flowing again slowly down from the rubble, making something that looks fairly similar to what it was.
Yeah.
Just that now it's weaving between all the boulders.
Yeah.
Yes. It's a spring coming out of a rock fall now.
Yes, you believe the whatever was there did what it was meant to do.
Yes.
Yep.
And if time changes, then well, hey, it's whenever it's needed.
Yeah.
Yes. The next poor bugger's got to go and dig it out now.
Exactly.
Well, that poor bugger still has to dig it out and put it there.
Yep.
Well, there's that too.
I have to go back and put it back in.
Not put it back in, put it in the first place.
Yeah.
Yes.
Every
time.
The old field of dreams, build it and they will come.
Yeah.
Let's build it and you will come.
Yeah.
Yes, aren't you glad you're not the one picked on with the time storyline?
Yep, absolutely.
This is all because I made a joke.
Yes.
This whole thing was just because I made a joke.
Yes.
And it may simply be because Drazzle liked the joke.
Yeah.
So he set things up so that you'd be an avatar of time.
He's like, oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
that sounds like a good idea. Let's make that happen.
He's
Yeah.
like, that's a funny joke. Let me add on to that.
Yeah. The other thing is, hey, it means I'll have someone I can talk to at my level.
Yeah. It works.
He was lonely.
Yeah.
Well, nearly every other person he spoke to about his problems ended up dying.
Sounds like you solved that problem by finding someone undying. So that works.
I think that was just timing. That was the point.
I like it.
Okay. Well, he never said he didn't wait until it was the appropriate time to tell them.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I told you so. Yes.
Okay, so yes, it only takes you about a roughly 2 days of flight to reach the coast.
Yeah.
We'll do it slowly.
Well, yes, it is at sort of human running speed.
Mm-hmm.
So not very well. Once we've got away a little bit,
Is
I can
there any reason to keep flying?
I can summon my mount. We can walk.
Walking testing.
Yeah. Actually,
So yeah,
if I summon
just
my mount, you can ride on my mount. You don't have to stomp.
54 miles of river infested with giant carnivorous creatures.
We're flying.
Definitely.
Well, we've only been back. It's only been the fourth time we've been taking through. So.
Yeah.
They're used to us and can ignore us now, right?
Totally.
You can literally ride some of these creatures, they're that big.
I know that.
Crocodiles.
That's why I don't want to get my legs near them.
That's why Calcrix was able to ride a T-Rex.
Yes, and the crocodiles here are big enough that all of you could fit on their backs.
Or in their backs, which is what they want.
Yeah.
My, what big teeth you've got, Grandma.
You
Crocodile.
You're the size of a fly or a gnat to them.
Yeah.
Shazam, the size of a fly.
You can be a nasty fly,
Yeah.
as flies can be nasty to you.
Yes. Absolutely.
And you notice when you're coming to the end of the majority of that as you hit the swamplands on the end of the second day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because we're in the 5th month of the year, the sun is pretty bright. You are in the tropic area.
And
Yeah.
it's humid, and it's hot, and it's just generally rather miserable for anyone who's running around in armour carrying a thing called the Shield of the Northern Stops.
What? 100%.
A bit. A little bit.
So you see an island out over the sea. Just seeing if I actually have any details of the island, because it has a number. Anything that has a number has something interesting on it.
Best thing.
Okay. Okay, so this island reminds you of the Dragon Academy without the academy.
So it's just dragon.
No, an island full of wyverns.
Right.
They all look to be young. It looks like their nesting ground.
Was that there before, or could we just not see it?
You were not flying this high over the coast. It's normally obscured when you come in on the eastern side of the island.
So an island where there's lots and lots of wyverns. First up, let's avoid that. Second up, we're probably going to have to go there, aren't we?
Well,
you didn't know where their nesting grounds were. No one's seen their nesting grounds.
doesn't make good now.
Okay, so now we know. And if it comes up, we might possibly tell someone.
Or not, because it has been kept secret.
Yeah.
Well, yes, that's a point. If I don't know it, chances are it's been kept secret deliberately.
And you know it's never been written down, so no one can legend lore where it is.
So I won't.
It's just one of those
If you don't
curiosities of the world that no one seems to know about it.
Well, if it's been kept secret, it's been kept secret for a reason, and if I tell someone, that person's going to find out about it and probably object violently. So I won't tell anybody until I find out who hit it.
Well, it's quite easy to, say, capture the eggs or the young and then train them to be whatever you want them to be.
Which means, who is the patron of, or the immortal who looks after wyverns and wyvern-like things?
That would be the great one.
Yeah. I'm not going to mess with that. Right there, I'm going to piss off the great one. No,
don't do that.
no, the great one's one of the few dragon immortals that's actually willing to talk to people.
He is considered one of the nicest ones out there.
Yes, he's the one who's not going to eat you just for turning up.
And looking past it, there is a island that has what appears to be a giant skull as part of its mountain range.
Right. Have I heard of that?
You have not.
Wow.
Again, it's something that's on the outside of the Isle of Dread that is usually obscured away, so people cannot see. And because you've come out at the right time.
So there's something else I'm going to not say anything about. Because I may be silly, but I'm not that silly.
But you have heard of stories of people encountering a titanic ape in the forests. But they keep blowing up his size, so he could literally just be gargantuan. But from a person's perspective, a monkey coming out of the forest and looking down at a ship is scary.
There's not a lot of difference when you're a human between gargantuan and Ogi gods.
Yep.
I'm guessing that island is called Kong Island.
Skull Island.
Skull Island.
It is. None of the reports said it had a skull on it, so that may be something different.
Maybe, yeah. Yes. Huge ape. Maybe I could take him as a familiar. No. Not going to work very well.
No.
Yeah, I'm thinking sneaking ahead is just not going to work.
Here.
No one's going to reject.
Sneak ahead, and all it does is turn its head. Done.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Until Godzilla comes out to play.
He's around here somewhere as well.
He
Yes,
is.
I'm sure it is.
He's in the water. He's underwater.
Or he's sleeping until it's his time to show up.
Yeah.
Which Lani would know about.
I'm sure I'll figure it out soon.
Well, the Teresk is very close to Godzilla. Except it is more of a consumer than a helper.
Yes.
Its role is to pretty much reset a region, because after it's been through, whatever was there is gone, and there's more growth in what comes out of it than in any other point in history.
Yeah.
It creates abundant growth in the wake of its destruction. Just its sheer presence does
Yeah.
it, but it literally destroys everything in its path.
Yeah.
And the fact something stopped it,
Yeah.
and that was the master.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the
As a I think this is what going back to what I was talking about before, because I just looked up the actual value of it. Every long rest, you guys get 6 temporary hit points each.
Oh, okay.
So that means 6 points of ablative armor that doesn't count against your damage.
Yes.
Nice.
Every day.
And that lasts until the next long rest or until used?
It's next long. It lasts until used. It resets every time we wake up.
So that takes my hit points from 166 to 172.
Yeah.
But it's still listed as 166, but you have 6 on top of it.
No. Short or long rest.
Short
Short or
or
long
long.
rest.
Okay.
Yes.
So if you take an hour, you can give them back their temporary hit points.
Yes.
That's handy.
Or you could do a rally where you can see if you can get the effects of a short rest in half an hour.
Yes.
Okay.
But then you're likely to end up a bit stressed.
Yes. But if it really comes to it and we need to do that, I can actually cure the stress.
Likewise.
Okay, so you
With a
can
spell.
choose to, because you are flying, to fly out over the islands that you've never seen, or go around the coast and try to make it back to the tribesmen. You've technically achieved what you came down here to achieve.
Yes.
Yes. Do we want
Dangle
to...
danger in front of us, or do a sensible thing.
Well, either is danger. There's no right or wrong way to go.
It's more a question of
Why do I not believe you?
what other time-sensitive parts do we have going on right now?
Let me just check my notes.
I believe that the only
We're waiting
other
for the end of
specific
summer.
task we had to do was we're still gathering forces during this off-season of the war.
Yeah.
I don't remember which areas or groups this team was supposed to be trying to gather the forces from.
Well, you do realize now where most of the forces you need to gather are
Yeah, I was gonna
on this
say
island.
because we just
Right.
finished the dwarves. The rest of the forces are the islanders.
Basically all the islanders
Here.
that we've already met that haven't met us yet.
Well, haven't met him yet. They met us, but previously. They haven't met Father Pat yet.
Are you talking about the other tribesmen here?
Yes.
Yeah, so the other tribesmen are the last of the people that we were meant to gather
Yes. Which means we have to actually gather them.
for the fight. So we have to get to them.
Yes. So we do actually have to go there.
And we're nearing the end of
But
spring.
It
I
is
know, because in fact,
third month of spring.
the Atruaghin tribesmen can technically enter the war now because the Master's forces have crossed the lake, haven't they?
But the
Yeah.
Master has not.
Oh,
Yeah.
the Master's not yet. That's
You
right,
do not
yeah.
know if he has crossed the lake, and if he crosses the lake, then the Atruaghin can literally turn the tide. If he hasn't crossed the lake, then the Atruaghin will get wiped out.
Yeah.
That's
And-
what he was told as a prophecy.
Yes.
Okay. So it's not the sort of thing that Jack Newell is going to be keen on trying to get more tribesmen up there yet.
Yeah.
Well, whether they're there or not, the entire of the Atruaghin people's spirit will be broken if the Master takes them.
What?
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's the case that if the Master is not going to cross this year, if he decides not to cross the lake, then I don't really want to have to deal with 15,000 more Atruaghin tribesmen on the
Plateau.
the plateau right now.
I was gonna say, but we probably still need to get them to warn them to say when I say go, it's time to go.
It may take them many months to get to
Travel up.
Travel up, yes.
Yeah.
And
And he's gonna
potentially
wanna
it's
be there for
organising
that.
ways for them to actually travel.
Yeah, you're going to want to be
But
there
that
for that,
doesn't
so you'll
mean
just give a
that
message.
if our main goal is or if our main goals of this part of the next combat or war season have been completed, except for these guys folks getting up the potential to get in the war, then technically we might as well hang around down here, and while we're here, then
Yeah. Your voice cut out. Your voice cut out.
so I was just saying the fact that if we've got to wait for the cycles anyway, then we can wait here rather than go back to the known world
Yeah.
and then have to come down again. In the meantime, we could go to Wizard Island and start training up lots of mount to fly the Atruaghin straight across the sea.
Yes.
It's an interesting thought.
Or
I'm sure that won't
King
cause
Kong.
problems.
Or go and recruit a whole load of halfling sea captains to transport all these people on the premise
We would
of,
have to-
well, we're doing it to mess up the master, and they'll be right into that.
Yeah. Well, half of them are already in the fight, and then half of them are sailing in that mission west. Not half, but a good portion, and then the rest are already in the fight.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, was there any?
Admittedly,
Sorry.
admittedly, Jack Nimmer's already been starting to pave the way for additional tribesmen in the area by having expanded the Atruaghin borders
Yes.
somewhat.
Somewhat.
I mean, you did pretty decent expansion negotiation there. So.
Well, they sort of claimed by default a big region of Darkin.
Ah.
On the
Yeah,
grounds of
no,
base.
Basically, it was what they didn't really want. So.
Well, they had more troops in the field there than the Darkin people knew about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As a lot of dragons went home. So they had a home there.
Right.
Paul remembers that one from first year of the game.
Yes.
They actually found the excavation site where the dragons had a settlement.
Right.
Yes, we visited there and did stuff.
Okay.
Okay, so
Yes.
what is the vote then? Head towards the clans.
Clans, nesting ground, or skull.
Nesting ground. Sorry, the clans. We've got to do that before.
Well, it would seem to be appropriate to head back towards the clan, at least overnight, to let them know
What's
Hey.
going on?
there might be some more rumblings than normal coming from the centre of the island.
Yes, and then we go and recruit King Kong and Godzilla to join the fight on our side.
Along with a bunch of weirdos.
What about Mothra?
So
Don't be
you,
amusing.
you believe you're about 9 days flight going around the island instead of over it to actually reach the settlements. And you know going over it means potentially dropping into the Feywild.
Which is bad.
Unless we do it at like half treetop height, which will slow us down.
You know it varies.
Yeah, there's that too.
Is it easier on foot if we go to a familiar pathway through Swampland?
You have to be able to cross a mountainous range
Oh,
that'll
okay.
slow
So
us
fly.
down.
with a volcano.
That'll
Yeah.
slow us down a whack ton.
Especially if it decides to go off.
Yeah, flying around the outside is going to be
It
fun.
is the source of a majority of the mists of the island.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right, because it's lava smoke as well as steam.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Walking
going
on
around
the
the
outside it is.
well, flying around the outside gets faster than any other method at the moment.
Mhm.
'Cause-
Admittedly, though, going down the outside means you've got the risk of the
all sorts of things, but we can.
Kraken in the waters.
From the outside.
But we're flying around the outside, which means we can go high enough that the Kraken's not going to get us. I know it's a lot of flapping, but still.
Okay, so there are a few things you notice as you're going.
Mm-hmm.
One that not only is the Kraken, parent Kraken here, is also giant squids that are different.
Okay.
Uh,
Still keep out of range.
Yeah.
If we're going to be, if the intent is to be flying for long periods,
Yeah.
then we'll probably take dragon form,
Yeah.
not dragon form.
Oh yeah, we're going to be doing long flight.
Yeah.
But in some respects,
Now I'm assuming the captain still turns into a medium-sized dragon at this stage,
he does.
so it's not like he's a mount, but
yeah.
And yes, you do manage to glide around with 9 days of flight, finding a couple of areas to hole up that is the equivalent of outcroppings where nothing seems to be getting to.
Yeah.
Because technically they're the only safe spots on the island. If you land on a beach, well, technically you're inviting whatever's nearby to come and eat you.
Yes.
Well, I think because they're hungry, or B, we've led them in breeding beach.
Pretty much.
or invite them to come around to be supper. Here's the supper to be served, but
Yeah, well, Lani's not cooking.
And you believe that the area is also home to the dragon turtles.
Mm-hmm.
Dragon turtles, that's cool as hell.
You're sure some of the islands you see may actually be their shells.
Mm.
And you think that some of the places you rest were their shells.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they have or vegetation on top of them.
Yeah, they're huge.
They
Yes.
are huge. And the scariest part for you is the flight over the Kraken's home.
Yeah.
Because that one you can't stop at and had to spend 2 days of straight flight
Mm-hmm.
noticing that something was under the water following you the entire time.
Yeah. Time for at least a level of stress, I'm presuming. That's right. We got recovery time afterwards, but still.
You do. And you eventually make it down onto the island. 9 days of travel and stress.
Yep. Yes. I will mention one of the things that I can do because of my domain is when I make a campsite, if I do it properly, that campsite is a haven, so you can recover from things like stress
Mm.
and exhaustion, which you normally can't in a campsite. I just make a really
so take it twice.
yeah, I make a really good campsite basically.
Okay, so by the time you reach the Great Wall, you do see that they still have the skyship here, either that or it has come back. Hard to tell, as it has been probably close to a month now that you've been on the island, even though it doesn't feel that long.
Yeah.
Mm.
You have spent a lot of time here. A lot better than the amount of time it took to get here last time.
True.
Well, there we are. I can make it. Well, it's worth it. Makes said thing also difficult terrain around it. It's like a fortified. So you do the haveny thing, and I'll do the defensive thing.
Yes, because I can only do I pull a castle out of my pocket once every 2 days.
Yeah, well, I can.
The rest
Same
of it,
staker.
yeah.
All
Well,
fences
that's the
are
thing.
defendable.
And you can do that at the same time I'm doing mine, so we can do the
Yes.
same.
So all things will define the
Yeah.
difficult terrain around it,
Yeah.
rather than anything we consider to be an ally.
And you see on the outskirts of the village what appear to be shiny metal buildings.
Were they there before?
No.
Okay. We will approach.
Are we talking like samurai pizza cat type technology buildings?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
because that's the samurai pizza cakes.
Where did the pizza part of this came in? I know samurai. I know cats.
Ninjas and pizzas seem to go together.
Okay.
Samurai Pizza Cats was a TV show.
Oh.
That was a group of samurai running a company where they made and delivered pizzas
Never heard of this
and
one.
got into shenanigans.
Oh.
So
It wasn't like Teenage
It-
Mutant
I was gonna say rip off of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I think it was approximately.
It
based
came out
on-
after TMNT, trying
Yes.
to cash in on the same.
Yeah,
Great.
so
Concept.
it's cool animals doing samurai or Japanese things with pizzas involved.
Everybody loves this.
Yeah,
This is a
the
great
the
time.
storyline is entirely different.
That's why you
Um,
have a lot of things that have ninjas, pizzas, and pirates.
Yeah,
It works.
yes. And I've got the card game Spank, which is Space Pirate Amazon Ninja Cat Girls.
Yeah, just don't say that public.
That's
Would you like to go to Spank?
That
funny.
is rather the point.
That's hilarious.
It was actually said as a joke during a planning meeting,
And they made it a thing.
and somebody else went, "That's brilliant! We'll do that!" No. And they did it anyway,
That's funny.
and it's rather fun.
Well, it's like the Australian space thing that's called ARS.
Yes,
Yes, exactly.
yes,
Literally.
Australian Research and Space Exploration,
Yeah.
which is the same guy. I think it's still only one guy, or one guy and his wife, who is also CU in the NT,
Ha ha ha.
which is
So-
T-shirts with CUNT on them.
Yeah, yeah. I've seen that
'Cause it's
campaign.
CU in the NT.
Yes.
I've been meaning to get
Yeah,
a sticker of that for my brother because it'd be funny.
yes.
But anyway,
Yes.
So-
I've got the last moments of the opportunity beer cooler.
So you can see a bunch of tribesmen have shown up as well from the other tribes.
Mm-hmm.
The area looks swarming with people.
They're definitely prepared.
Various tribes that your brain just looks at going, when is this a thing? As you can imagine, almost any sort of animalistic sort of group of people together. You've got what look like elephant men.
Right.
It's cool.
You look like you've got hippo men.
Yes.
Just about any form of animal.
Giraffe man?
Probably, yes.
Yeah.
No, the shark men look the weirdest.
Yes.
But they normally say folk these days to be PC.
Shark folk. Is it with 2 S?
Only in Welsh.
And there seems to be some sort of celebration happening, and cheers as Drachma comes into view.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You're the hero of the animal tribes.
Jack will land on top of the wall and take it back go back to half dragon form.
As they seem to be doing a Chief of Chiefs celebration that he missed out on last time.
They weren't ready for me coming there. They prepared my return this time.
Yeah.
So they prepared my arrival. I was expecting you to arrive. So, so in that 9-day period, obviously there was a bit of disturbance in the centre plateau initially, but it didn't go any further.
Yeah.
It didn't go any further, and there's reports from the tribesmen that the space cats have recovered something from the island.
Oh. They said they were after something.
yeah.
Yeah, so after something like that, we used it.
Well, yeah, and I knew they were after, we knew they were something after. They were after something that they needed specifically.
And that they were using the island to protect.
Yes. But now they've decided we need to use this now. That's definitely worrying.
Or they've worked on the fact that the island's no longer safe, or this world's no longer safe, so they're going to get taken elsewhere.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so you do find out from them that they are leaving the surface of the world for a time.
Right. They've got a job to do.
They
With
are
their new item.
They are basically doing their long farewells to the tribesmen that they've been part of for a long time in protecting the items and the island.
Yeah.
They would normally get rid of the 2 inquisitive visitors. That was part of their role.
Yes.
Yes.
He's hoping they don't decide that they don't need to actually do that this time.
Well, they were collecting their items, so that was what part of the 2 inquisitive visitors. If they started investigating their shrines.
Yes, well, that's fair. So let's not do that.
And from what premonitions a few of you have had is they have pretty much recovered their ancient weapons of war.
Right. That doesn't sound promising at all.
Last time these were fielded on the world, they killed the dragon gods.
Okay, that sounds really bad.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no way for us to stop them.
No. But forewarned is forearmed.
That'd be a hell of a mutation.
Exactly.
It is possible to get.
I know.
Just need to wish for it. Wishful thinking can achieve many things. And there are always demons willing to listen to you say, I wish.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yes. Which is one of the many reasons not to do that.
It's in my very, very first D&D campaign. I wished for the axe of the Dwarven Lords. And the DM promptly put me down the 12th level of the dungeon and said, there you go.
So you've got the axe and now you've got to get out and you're wearing...
No, I didn't get the axe just to the giant that had it kill me.
Right, so he just put you adjacent to it and said, oh, go for it.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yep, that's where I learned about wishes the hard way.
Yep.
Well, in this world, you get 25 words to make your wish in.
Yep.
Any more than that, and it's
Your
cut
wish
off at
would
that
have been
point.
effective.
How long do you get to draft said wish though?
Normally, you get to speak it.
Yeah.
Because I may write it down as you start saying, I wish for something to happen.
Yes, it is possible to word a wish
Safely.
approximately safely.
Just that every wish is delivered by either a devil or a demon.
Yes.
They're
Yes,
the only people who grant them.
yes.
Mm.
So you must assume that whatever you say, it's either going to be taken incorrectly or they're just going to say, oh, you said it wrong, I'll just do that.
Or to the literal point of stupidity.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. They are there to mess you up. They will do exactly that.
And so when you cast a spell of wish, you're literally playing with them every time.
Mm.
And they love that game.
Oh, they do. Because, to be honest, doesn't matter if you beat them on one part, it's never in the long run.
No.
Yeah.
The house always
Yeah.
wins.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so you are all greeted by the tribesmen when you arrive as well.
Mm-hmm.
Many a flower thrown over your heads.
Sacks thereof.
Lead boxes.
Sacks of flour.
Yeah.
Most of these are the tropical flowers, so they are quite pretty.
Yeah.
Very fragrant. And potentially not carnivorous.
Potentially.
It's the Isle of Dread. Many of the stuff here is carnivorous.
Yes.
I was going to say, yeah, it's actually not carnivorous. Most likely poisonous, but actually not carnivorous.
Well, I do have the ability to determine if anything's poisonous.
Technically, you would be, if you do that thing, you'd be picking up lots of poisonous stuff around you.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
Because the Isle of Dread is one of the most toxic regions of the world. which helps.
Oh.
That's the world helping, I'm sure.
Let's keep it with the carnivorous dinosaurs in check. Because dinosaurs aren't real smart.
It's either that or they've eaten it for their entire life, so it's not toxic to them. And they may not survive without it. And you were given a chance to chat to any of the space cats if you wish to before they depart.
There's something I want to
Yeah.
ask her.
I'm guessing Jack was probably more caught up with catching up with talking with the tribal elders of the various clans. So he's probably not going to get much time to talk to the space cat.
Well, you do find from them there are 7 major settlements of Atruaghin here that are coming north for the battle cry. And that's the equivalent of another, a full clan of the Atruaghin.
And they already, the good thing about bringing them up there is the fact that they're the exemplar of different tribes and clans working a little bit together.
Yeah. They always work in 4s, which is an odd thing for the world that works in 5s.
Yes. Well, it is an indication of they're not actually from here.
Yeah.
And the fact that the cats have made up some of the missing tribes. They're not actually Atruaghin, but they walk among the Atruaghin as equals.
Yeah.
Yes.
One of the few places they are treated fairly.
Yes. Well, you're on an inimical island where everything wants to kill you every day. Anything that can help you survive, it's worth doing.
Exactly.
Including making friends with Mr. Elephant Head over there.
Well, it's also the fact that the Atruaghin don't have quite the anathema against appearance
I know that it's
creatures.
easy. Yeah, this is the thing. It's easy for them to do this, easier than other people. It's still something that would be unusual in most circumstances. On this island, I can see it happening straight away. Because they're not dumb.
So they have supported the settlements for most of their time here. And they're now pulling up all their settlements.
Yeah.
Yes. So the question will be part of that conversation that Draco will be involved in is, yes, what transportation systems do they have to actually traverse the seas, and or whether the cats are willing to provide a lift before they actually leave the world.
They are willing to negotiate that with Drakmar. It's basically what is Drakmar going to offer them in exchange for their services.
Maybe they could just make us a boat that's their technology, their materials, but our technology. So from our point of view, it's just a ship. It just happens to be really light and very tough. It comes down to whether they can make it in the time they've got.
Okay, so I guess I'm assuming at the start point the fact that yes, the tribesfolk of this land are not particularly seafaring folk, and so they don't have ships or boats themselves.
Yeah, I know.
Except possibly the same ones as the lizard folk had that we rescued and took to Dragon Island.
There are 3 island settlements off the actual mainland that would be seafaring. But they wouldn't have enough to take the entire population north.
Yeah, but also they would be, their craft would appear to be more coastal faring rather than ocean vessels.
It is coastal.
They're probably like Polynesian type stuff, which were surprisingly ocean worthy.
Yes. Well, the thing is, if we've got a ship like that, then it gives us something that's going to be really, really useful for a good amount of time.
Exactly.
And of course, that then can become Lani's special ship because, well, she needs one.
Yeah.
That's the Empress of the Sea. She needs a ship.
She needs a really tough one that's not going to get wood rot.
So, what it would Drachnamir offer these Rakasta for their services?
Don't say laser pointers.
Lani shifts.
Well, I mean, has Drachnamir seen live vessels? From what Drachnamir seen as the Rakasta, has he seen any evidence that they've got ships that can transport live people at like numbers at a time? Because I'm thinking that any of the ships he's seen so far have been for a matter of 1 to 5 people type stuff.
They have looked rather small, though they have various technologies. You're not sure what they're capable of. They have had the ability to move items without magic.
I'm not sure that would be safe for us to actually use. There are many people
I guess
who
I'm
would
just going to say that I suspect that it would have been more of a passing comment on the idea of, oh, well, yes, it's been great having you. Sorry to see you go.
Can we have
We've
a
got to
ship,
move at the moment. No, your ships aren't big enough. Okay, we'll think about other options. Like without necessarily thinking that, in fact, they have the opportunity to or the capacity to move the because I'm sure we're talking
Are you willing to
a few thousand.
You're talking about maybe 10,000 people?
Yeah.
And they do say they can move that amount of people over a probably 6-month period.
Right.
Okay.
And how long is it going to take? Right, so I was giving that the idea you're talking multiple trips in that sense then. So
Well, one
how
trip, they
long is
say.
each trip likely to take? And
Say one trip,
Right.
and it would probably take. He thinks for a moment and has to translate words before he says it. Moments, he says, only moments.
Right.
Hmm.
So
it will take 6 months.
Yes.
Well, okay, so
Uh,
we're in
You need to build an ark. Is that what you're saying?
No, we just need to. He then pauses for a little bit and set up an endpoint, he says.
you're right. Doing a sort of portal thing.
Yeah.
So that.
That comment just made exactly the thing. How much effort does it take Victory to set up a nice river inn? Did you want one on the Dread on the Isle of Dread?
That would be an interesting thing to do.
Though you do know that nothing has been able to successfully teleport here. It's what the teleport errors options always refer to as the Isle of Dread effect.
Yeah.
You don't reach where you're going, and most of the time you don't appear.
Yes.
People are always wary of trying to reach here after the stories of people just appearing
Not
mangled
happening.
somewhere if they can find them.
Yes. The closest thing Redrin would do is put it on an island that's safe and go, here's a ship, it's over that way. By the way, the ship is cheap, I'm not expecting it back.
Yeah.
But yes, if you can persuade them to make a ship, that would be really nice. But I don't know if they're willing to spend the time to do that.
I don't know.
That's not what they're offering in that case. Okay.
But as they don't use magic.
Yeah, but they do have manufacturing equipment.
I mean, as
Although
in
they
their technology works where magic does not.
Yeah. Which, given what happening, may actually be of use. But yeah, we'd have to also paint it like wood.
So that they are offering Drachnamir a way to get his people to the Isle from the Isle of Dread to the Atruaghin Plateau without actually crossing the distance.
That.
Which is obviously it means that yes, there's not actually dangers or concerns in the chase for it.
It's technically one trip, and the trip takes 6 months.
But it's better than trying to walk there, which would take a couple of years, or a year or so, and you'll lose half of them doing it.
But I got the impression he said that it was going to take moments for the actual travel. So the 6 months was the preparation time to make it get ready for, well, they said the end point, but presumably also the start point as well.
Well, so you can use sense motive to see if you can interpret what they were saying.
Well, it was literally the sort of thing that it was putting it into the sense of, a teleportation circle. Okay, yep. So that needs a start and an end. Yep. But insight.
Insight, yes.
11, 25.
Okay, so you believe that it will take them maybe a short time to set up a destination point for the equivalent of a teleportation circle, and that it will take them 6 months to get the people over there, but the people are taking roughly a single trip, and it's instantaneous for each person taking it. So,
okay, so it's more, individually it's instantaneous, but it's not like they're doing a teleportation circle that's 10 miles wide and incorporating the whole encampment all at once.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's more like the...
We'll create a doorway and people have got to walk through. It'll take about 6 months for 10,000 people to walk through.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Which would put us right at the beginning of winter, which would put us right when the Master would be at his strongest restarting the war.
And technically the people can carry enough food to get them through the winter.
Yep, everyone carry supplies.
Yeah.
Because at that point, they have to be able to walk like 10 feet while carrying as much stuff as people could load on them.
Yeah.
If they can stagger 10 feet, they're done.
Yeah.
Which is going to be
would this would this journey, or would this he'll use portal type stuff because he's putting it into terms he's potentially misunderstanding, but so would people be able to walk both ways through this doorway?
They say leaving here is fine, returning here does not work.
Right. Yeah, that's fair. If they want to come back here, they're going to have to do it the slow way.
Well, but that's before the idea of, hey, other options or bring other people through to Isle of Dread that would be useful too.
Yeah, the ability to send anything to the island is fraught with interference, they say.
Yeah.
Makes sense with everything going on.
They can reach a clear destination, they cannot return to one with interference.
Yeah. Well, that's
yes. And so, from Dracula's perspective, and the idea of the knowledge of teleporting or using magic and teleporting to the Isle of Dread, he's thinking, yep, okay, he just uses a different form of magic, and teleportation still doesn't work going to it.
Oh, yeah.
And they probably put their own things to stop people being able to use their technology to get here.
Well, they do that with all the technology anyway.
Well, they probably stop their own people using their tech to get here easily.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
I'd do that.
Okay, so yes,
they
they are saying they can do this, but what would Drachnamir offer in return for their services?
Mm-hmm. Well, I
What sort of thing would that be?
find it hard to know what you might be find worthwhile. It appears that your the partnership that you've enjoyed with the tribesfolk here, the protection is no longer required. I find it difficult to know what you may find of value, since you obviously know exactly what it is that the Druid can offer.
Well, they would need some assistance in their own against their own enemy because they do not have the numbers.
And that's your call, Mr. Dracomir.
They're happy
It's obvious
to
that,
spend some of their energies in getting your people to where they can serve you, but it will take them quite a few years to prepare to fight their enemy as it comes.
I see. He certainly, as I suggested, as I said, we are unfortunate to hear that you were leaving. Most pleased to hear that the partnership is coming to end.
Yes.
You are, as far as we are concerned, you are transferred.
Well, they
We all won. We will work to vanquish our foes together.
well, as far as they're concerned, the Isle of Dread is also their home, as they have been here for a long time.
Yeah. Well, you've still got the thing of they've got to be able to get back here. So, but they'll just fly here. That's the thing.
But yes, from Dracula's perspective, they haven't actually asked for anything. It was the sort of thing that they could have expected quite heavily on the idea that, as far as he's concerned,
Yeah.
they are
Oh yeah.
part of the tribesfolk, and his goal is to actually allow all the tribesfolk working together. So
Yes.
their foes are our foes, just as our foes are their foes.
Okay, so they, with that as an agreement as far as they're concerned, they're happy to help Drachnama. Which, from what Llewell would understand, is technically against their policy.
Which means they have a good reason for doing it, which is fair enough considering what's going on.
And you've never heard of them
is-
asking for help.
Yeah. Just on that, I would definitely say yes.
Well, as I said, as far as Dracula is concerned, it's exactly the same thing as if the Bear Clan were under attack from an external force.
Yeah.
The expectation would be, as much as the tribesmen might fight amongst themselves on the plateau,
Yeah.
just like any domestic dispute, you don't want to get in the middle of a domestic, because as soon as you're from the outside, everyone gets you.
Yes.
So you find out from them that they already have a destination set up in the Atruaghin region. They had helped build Atruaghin's palace.
Oh. Okay.
Ooh.
And they were part of the reason it has been deemed no clan land.
Okay.
All right. Well, again, aside from the immediate personal fork on Turkish Palace and what he found down there and the effect it had on his life, the main part of his fork would be, well, further evidence that the Rakasta are simply one of the lost clans.
You could probably refer to them, treat them as that, and given what's going on, they'd probably wear that. But it would, your approval would tell the rest of your clans, these guys are okay. You'd probably have to tell them directly anyway. These guys are okay. By the way, so are these other guys. Don't eat the horse guys.
Or if you do, don't get caught.
And don't ride them.
As you see, they have set up the
Yeah.
temple in front of
They do
the
have
big
a
wall.
walls.
Was literally the other endpoint
They're
of their
okay.
gateway.
Yeah.
Right.
So it was already here to begin with. They just had to turn it on. But they wouldn't turn it on unless they had some form of agreement.
Yeah.
As apparently only the clan chief of chiefs could make that agreement.
Yes. Which he's just done.
They wouldn't accept anyone lesser.
Well, that's fair. They're arrogant as hell. They're cats.
Exactly.
Well, they also probably recognise that as much as the clans down here do work together, they're still all got their own individual leaders.
Oh, yeah.
So no one particular leader had authority to make the decision.
Yeah, so you
Okay.
pull together the other leaders, give them the position, and go, "Are we going to accept this?" And they'll probably go, "Yeah, boss."
And so you see that in the middle of the temple, a small portal appears, enough for a single person to walk through at a time. Which is why it's going to take 6 months.
Yes,
Ah.
especially since everyone's going to be loading up with their own body weight and stuff.
And they say that
It also
Yeah,
gone.
they'll say that this will last until you have enough.
Well, it's not necessarily want to depopulate the island here, I quote.
yeah, but all those who wish to go can go.
But it also probably means that it would be best that our thoughts of, going and visit King Kong and or Godzilla need to be postponed
Yeah.
because it's appropriate best that we go through first
To pave
because
the
hey,
way.
it's not like the Palace of Atruaghin was left in a state that was fit for people to just wander through, laying down with other bits and pieces.
It does mean that you now have a viable place to have everyone who comes through set up safely
Yes,
Yeah.
without actually taking the lands of any other tribe.
yes, because it's been set aside for this purpose, basically.
Yes. But the point is that it's not this, as we discovered when we were there, it's not like it's empty right now.
No. Well, that's the thing. There's probably going to be things for us to beat up when we turn up.
Unless you've already beaten them up.
Unless we have
Yeah.
already...
It's
Yeah,
not
that's
somewhere.
actually
Hey, that was some years ago now.
Yes. Well, that's the thing. Anything that repopulates after that is likely to be fewer in number, if possibly stronger.
Yeah.
It won't be as entrenched because it's only going to be there as long as we were there last. Yeah, quite doable.
And most things have trouble getting there because it's in the middle of 3 clans.
Yes. Which means all these guys have protection from anybody who might want to take their heads off for being abominations.
And Dracnamar is told how to deactivate the portal.
Nice. Useful.
On either side.
From the side of Atruaghin's palace.
Okay.
Because basically you have to turn on the endpoint for it to actually work.
Yeah.
They can turn it on from this side,
Mm.
but it has to be the other side can turn it off.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so do we need to get someone to the other end to actually activate it, or
No, they say that
the whole portal can be activated from this end?
you connect to the portal location, you walk through and turn off the portal. That's how the system works.
Right.
So that someone who's traveling won't get stuck mid-transposition,
Yeah.
half in, half out.
Yeah, don't do that. We don't need no Stargate.
But it's exactly what we're curious in the sense that when the final tribesman who's going to go through initially is through, do we need to turn it off? It will be a problem or concern if we remain active.
They recommend turning it off before winter begins because by then it will be visible to the master.
Oh. Yeah, fair enough.
But it's not like they can come through it. Admittedly, it's an attracting point potentially that would be a problem for the plateau.
Well, they say that the technology is only hidden until winter.
Ah. Right.
After that, the master will have the capacity to utilize it if it's on.
But as you already said, you can't come from the mainland to the Isle of Dread.
Oh no, but he can go to the centre of the Atruaghin lands.
But only if he's actually already got there.
But it's essentially saying that he can corrupt and reroute.
He can use the active connection point and send his forces directly into the centre of Atruaghin.
Yeah, which is slightly...
But you have to. So you're saying that he could move the start point that's currently on the Isle of Dread.
Yes, he can.
Yeah. So let's not let that happen.
No.
No, absolutely not. Until that was described, it was the idea of saying, okay, well, either it'll attract them to the centre of the plateau because they can sense the power source there, but then obviously we'd want to try and repel that. But even if they got there, it's not like they could get to the Isle of Dread from the centre of the plateau, or if they're going to use it as an access point to the centre of the plateau, that means they've got to go all the way across the Sea of Dread, down to the Isle of Dread, to get to the thing, and then send one person through at a time, which would not necessarily be a bad perspective from our idea. So, but if they can effectively move the portal from the entry point from the Isle of Dread onto the mainland,
that's the problem.
then technically it becomes a two-way portal at that point, and
and he can do anything he likes.
We can potentially attack you back. We'll work out those sort of options 6 months from now.
Part of the problem is if he learns how to move one end of it, once he gets people through to the other end, he might be able to move to the other end, at which point he's got a teleporter he can put anywhere he likes.
Yeah, which is not good.
Bad move.
Yeah, but it's still seemingly only big enough to let one person through at a time.
Yes, but if
it's not hard to guard a doorway.
No, they will refine that and saying the reason that it will last that long is they've limited its size.
Okay, right. So if you're going for a short-term thing, you could expand the size significantly.
Yes. The other one is, given what the master's doing, he could have one person carrying 100 spectres walk through that.
Yeah.
It's more the idea that Emma's perfectly happy that the plan will be to take it off and to turn it off before winter.
Yeah.
But hey, that also gives 6 months of potential study and preparations and thoughts of maybe there are other options.
And
there we go.
And they do say that if you can see the other side through the portal from the Atruaghin's palace, you need to turn it off.
Right. Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you better get people moving through fast.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yes, we'll go through.
Are we going through first to actually clear the area?
Yes.
It wouldn't be hard for you to do so at this
stage. Keen on sending random personnel through with no specific knowledge of what's on the other side.
Oh yeah, of course. That's why we've got to go through first, because otherwise it's...
A couple of the Rockcaster are happy to go with you to make sure that it's also viable.
So
and also that they can confirm the instructions on how to shut it off, so that Active is aware.
Because they believe they may need to repair things.
Yeah.
Fair.
It has been many thousands of years.
There might have been some idiots going through there 5 years ago or something like that might have disrupted some of these systems or mechanisms.
Wouldn't know who did that at all.
Okay, so
Look, my footprints.
you now have a way back to the mainland.
Yes.
You now have a long drawn out plan.
Yep.
And as you're preparing to go, you see some of the Rakasta constructs start to rise up, and see a couple of them out over the oceans the size of cities.
I want one.
Go back
So-
last week, flying carpet.
You've
Well,
not
the
seen
highway.
them bigger than, say, a tower. And
I am a little shocked at this, but not entirely surprised. They have significantly impressive technology.
and they don't look particularly refined compared to what you've heard of Blackmore. They are not to that level of technology.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Back then was privately thinking, so they did have transport ships available. But also recognising that they didn't want to be going anywhere, flying anywhere near over the mainland if they could avoid it. So,
Yes.
So yes, they do ask if they can be of any assistance to anyone before they leave.
Someone want a cool leg again.
Pat's looking at his wooden leg and going, I really like that little leg.
Well, a metal egg. Remember, they don't remember having done it before.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
um,
Can I have something more useful than this?
This.
He says
Any
going
chance
clunk,
of
clunk.
upgrade?
Yes. See, he says going clunk clunk with a piece of stick.
Yeah.
Something a little more useful, perhaps.
Yes, they give him one that looks exactly the same, but it's hollow metal and it carries whiskey.
That'll do.
They do get advice from Drachnamar about what is appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
And the advice is,
appropriate.
So
Yes.
you get an actual dwarf foot, not a cat foot.
Because they...
Like a replacement for his leg.
yes. Because
Rather
from
than a
their
cat
perspective, they are now referring to Drachnamar as their chief of chiefs.
Yes.
So they're not going to interfere with a non-society member without his say-so.
Yes.
Whereas before he was not their chief of chiefs.
Okay. The problem Father Pat's got now is the fact that, well, as far as Dracula is concerned, metal's still bad. So, but that wooden leg, I think we could only shot perfectly.
Yes. Yeah. The other thing is they could make it out of horn, i.e. plastic. But yes, you presently don't have a problem with a wooden leg, with a metal leg, and he's not in Atruaghin. It's you carrying metal was the problem, not other people using it.
He still has that fallback that his character has the characteristic.
Oh yeah, of course, because he grew up with it,
So the idea that
literally enculturated.
it's not work, so why fix it?
It's proven you useful so far.
Yeah.
Like, exactly. He said, okay, Dracula's. Yeah, it's excellent. Curious as to what you're actually trying to achieve, because, well, I mean,
we're out quite so fast.
did we have memories of when he had the non-wooden leg?
You do have memories of when he had the non-wooden leg, yes.
And that it was the clawed foot or something, wasn't it?
It was an literal cat foot. Though they do have options of
Clothes.
technology they have literally obtained from other races.
Oh, okay.
I just don't want a dwarf leg because it was shorter than normal. Then I'll be walking in circles.
They make it to match your existing leg.
Okay, but if
Look at that one. Opposite it.
Yes.
inquires about getting a new leg from the attacker and or through Backnimmer, either the captor or come to him, or whether part of the pack gets sent to Backnimmer and say, hey, you got to talk to him to actually get authorization.
Right. And then make it
Backnimmer will say, well,
removable.
if you are able to support and assist him with a replacement, I'm sure he'd be very appreciative.
Okay.
Again, and then looking to him, I suspect that it would be most appropriate if it looked somewhat like a mirror image of his other leg.
Yes.
We don't want a mirror, because that would be two bright feet.
No, mirror.
Mirror,
is
so-
exactly it. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you said exactly the same as his other foot, that's the problem.
Yeah. Just make it just like that one.
Okay, so they show you what appears to be illusions of various legs, and they look. They go from what is obviously mechanical to what looks like solid shiny metal.
Ooh.
Yeah, long John Silver.
Solid shiny metal, it's looking good.
Yeah, just for a socket
Where-
a shoe over it.
Whereas the metal one, they say, can be maintained by the gnomes of your world,
Okay.
Okay, that is
Yeah.
actually better.
Yeah.
unlike the majority of the others.
Fair enough.
The wooden one to be maintained by your local carpenter.
Okay, strictly, if we had the time, I could do something to regrow your leg, but that's going to take a little while, including me gaining a few levels.
This is sounding good.
Do the cluster have the capacity to set up a communication system between both ends of the portal?
They say you can send messages from here, but you can't receive them here.
Oh, anything coming in is going to be bad, right?
How do you mean send
Right.
messages? Basically, you mean like send a rock with background paper through the portal?
Or use their magic, they say.
Yes.
You
Well,
can.
it's just the idea that Backnimmer's looking at the fact of, hang on, we've got to go through first and confirm the way's safe and confirm that's all good. Then we want to be able to send a message back to say, yep, okay, start sending through.
Yeah.
But also we want to be able to, 3 months from now, when something's gone wrong, we want to be able to say, stop.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's magic options for like sending and things like that. But it's just like, Jack Dimmer doesn't have those spells right now.
And they do say sending will not reach the island.
Right.
Sending won't reach the island.
No, you cannot project to the island. You can project
Using
from the island.
Yeah, anything to the island's just not going to work, basically, no matter what you do. You got to walk here.
How close can we go sending? Like we saw an island across there that was a couple nearby islands. Did they get covered?
The closest island that seems to be safe to send to on a regular basis is about a week's journey across the ocean.
Not that useful.
No.
Okay.
Still better than
It's better than
several months journey across there.
It's better than a month, but
That's
it
true.
is still.
But you'd have to set up a settlement on that island and make sure they were safe, so you could send sendings to them, so they could then get on a boat and go over to
Yeah.
get on it.
But the entire
might be worth doing.
archipelago here is no man's land for anything coming in.
Basically, yeah. You could if there were a good reason to do it, it'd be worth spending the money doing it, and lives. But yeah, given the Atruaghin tribesmen that are here, I can see you wanting to do that, no problem.
Though they have ways of sending messages here that use their magic. They say with a sort of exaggerated wars.
Yeah,
They're magic.
it's not affected by what
Yeah.
affects our magic.
But the point being the fact that we won't, whilst
But it only
there are a
works at
couple of
night.
trucks that are going to come through to help us set up the other end and figure it out and make it all working properly.
Yeah.
What I'm
But
getting
the
from
point
this,
is, a week from now, the fact that they can call into the island is not much use to us.
because they have that 2000 cell phone plan where calling and texting is free after 9 p.m.
Yeah. They might be using.
That's what it is.
Yeah, they might be using light telegraph.
Well, they have the equivalent of satellites that they can see from the surface.
Yeah.
But only at night.
Yeah.
Okay.
Texting and calling after 9 p.m. I'm correct.
Yes. They're up only at night.
But
Otherwise the sun
Jack Dimmock's, like I said, Jack Dimmock's main concern at the moment is, yes, we can set up, we'll send a trickle of staff personnel through and get them from the island onto the plateau.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's concerned that as soon as something goes wrong, we've got no way of warning the people on the island to
Well,
stop coming through.
Their system is
We can
fairly
certainly
robust.
tell, if
That,
something goes wrong to the island, obviously we can tell quickly onto the mainland because hey, they can come on through.
Yeah.
Hey, there's a problem on the island.
Yeah, but that's the thing. As Martin said, the only way to get a message from the Temple of Atruaghin to the island takes a week minimum.
and the ability for them to shut it off will not trap someone in between.
Yeah.
It will basically put anyone in there through before it shuts down.
Yeah, because it's in.
That's
There's
that's
no way to trap someone.
good to know, but it wasn't the concern. So,
It can be reinitiated from the island, and they're happy to leave a couple of people behind to
Yeah.
receive a message and turn it back on again.
Okay.
But that would be an option. Their communications can get through overnight, but
Yeah.
not necessarily during the day.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, because the sun.
okay, well, no, but that's
The
still.
sun god
If
doesn't
that
like
means
technology.
we're talking message arriving in a matter of day or days rather than months, then that's certainly, well, technically still much better communication than you're normally used to. So,
Yeah.
Yes, it just requires them to have their people.
Oh.
okay. Yeah.
And they're glad they didn't let one of their scientists experiment on your friend.
Yes.
Because they have a tendency to put inappropriate items on people.
Here, you have this foot. It has a knife in it. Knife foot.
Well,
Fair.
if they're going to experiment, they're going to experiment on a non-recaster.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if it kills the person, then obviously it was never meant to be.
Yeah. Obviously.
Mind you, I thought with a plasma gun, it would be rather useful.
Depends on which way it flies.
Yeah.
Well, which way it flies, it's not just fly up the leg.
Yeah.
Then
Well,
it'd
no, it would still be valid. You just
Point your toes. Point your toes.
yeah, or you heal. Right, I need to shoot him. Sits down, puts leg up, puts heel on them. Big blast comes out of the bottom of his foot.
Isn't this the thing from the...
but the problem with you know what worries me though is the second law of physics. For every action is an equal reaction. It's like I'm flying backwards.
No, not necessarily. Because if it's a plasma gun, it's
No,
only
it's just-
firing a really small match.
Pew! You'd be laying down. Pew! Pew!
Yeah, it's gonna have recoil like a Star Wars blaster.
It's like, let it.
Yeah, I believe that one.
It'll have some, but it won't hurt.
And then you find that after firing 10 times, you've managed to fracture your hip.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not good.
Because that's the one point it's jarring on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why you don't do it with a dead straight leg.
Metal
They'll
hip.
absorb that recoil. That's what
Yeah.
muscles are for.
It's as if people actually know physics.
Biology.
Anyway,
Anyway.
once you fire it once and go, shit, that's got a bit of a kick to it, like a really heavy crossbow, you don't do it with a straight leg anymore.
You brace yourself.
Yep. First person experience of physics. You adjust to it.
And he goes, here, that feels better. Shoot, here, that feels better.
After that first time, when you didn't apply for the recoil, for the rest of your life, you're walking with a limp.
That's what, as Martin said himself, that's what the healing spell's for. The other thing is, that's one shot, not 10.
Exactly.
I'll be fine.
We're talking about the idea of someone walking with a limp who had lost a leg.
Well, he does that anyway.
Exactly.
Notice.
Okay, so
Exactly.
we will finish the session with you guys heading into the Atruaghin Plateau.
Mhm.
First time
And
the group, besides Jeremy's character, has actually gone into the Atruaghin Plateau
Yes.
since that they left it.
Yes.
yeah, okay, the total couldn't be before.
It has been about
Yeah.
10 years since the characters have actually reached the centre of the plateau.
Yes, which did include a
Yes.
3-year gap of we weren't there at the time.
You were out of time for a while.
Exactly. We weren't there at the time.
Exactly. Yeah, back in time.
And you got to witness some of the Recaster ships taking off.
Which is very cool.
Which does remind you that the one that they found in the mountains was a higher level of tech than they have.
Yes.
And that was considered antique to Redrian.
Yes.
Mm.
Okay. You mean they're not the Beagle?
Yeah, they're
And
not the
Red-
Beagle.
And Redrian has mentioned that somebody else's tech is more advanced than his.
He hasn't met tech more advanced than his yet.
I thought he'd heard of it and told us about it.
The stuff that he had found across, he was surprised at the level of technology, it just wasn't more advanced than his.
Oh, just, yeah.
So you
Because that would have been referring to the Novice floating city that he was going across to fix up.
That was the one where they're actually using part of his ship for it.
The interstellar engine.
Yes. Yeah, it was a different thing that I was remembering.
Okay, yeah.
There are creatures with more tech than he has, but they're things that are in between the worlds.
Yeah.
So I will put it on end credits unless you want to add something more for next week to worry about.
No,
The end is nigh.
Right.
Hello, the end is nigh.